Alright. What the hell is going on, everybody, and welcome back. We got ourselves a big best of 5, but no, it's a best of 3. What am I doing with that scoreboard? Rogue is in the bottom right side of the map. Still says DPG, Dragon Phoenix Gaming Rogue. I don't know if he's on a team right now. Well, Dragon Kaiser, I guess I'm looking it up after this game. I think he's just got the old account name and hasn't bothered changing the name. Up in the top left, Team Liquid's Clem. And it is the Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup's returned for the summer season. It's their first one. And what a lineup we've had. For those who don't know, Kung Fu Cup basically is a weekly cup held by the Chinese community, has a pretty big prize pool for a weekly cup of over $1,000 normally. I think it might have been about $1,200 to $1,500. Pretty damn good for a weekly cup. Best of 3s until the finals, which I think is a best of 5. And honestly, that's going to be exciting because we saw so many good players sign up to this. And we get to see this rare sort of matchups where, you know, Clem and Rogue's come back. It's a huge test for him, because Clem is so fast in this matchup and generally so dominant. On the other hand, Clem's always had troubles with very clever Zergs that can kind of get him with some sneaky BS, right? The Ling run buys, traditionally a problem for Clem. Not to mention just Zergs catching him off with big surprises. Shin beating Clem 2-0 at Katowice. Something no one would have thought was going to happen. But just goes to show a clever Zerg can catch him off guard, and Rogue is absolutely a clever Zerg. Like, you know, you can criticize Rogue whatever way you want, but if you're going to say he's dumb or simple or anything like that, you simply do not understand the Zerg player we are looking at. He's a preparation beast, and he's always looking... What I've always admired about him is he's always looking for an easy way to finish the game without looking desperate. There's a lot of cheesers out there who you can tell they're looking for an easy way to finish the game, but it comes at the cost of many parts of their matchup looking kind of bad. Rogue has that balance of, I'm good in macro games, but I'm also willing to be crazy greedy in a macro game to get further ahead, or crazy all in to just kill you. And I feel like most players are so focused on just one thing, they don't have that level of flexibility. They're a specialist at all-inning, or they're a specialist at playing defensive macro and they do the same opening every game so that they're an expert at it. Rogue does have a downside of his style. As he tries to block that hatchery, Clem does have to back off. Rogue escorts it out. It's a pretty big delay on the third hatchery, and the creep still hasn't gone down. Notice he's bouncing that queen around. The delay on the creep is actually disastrous here. I really feel like this is awkward. I mean, he's double injecting well, but yeah, this opening Rogue's been doing every game, and I feel like Clem, he's got a third command center opening up. He's hitting his macro so smooth, and he's slowed down the creep. This just is an awkward spot to be in as Rogue. Now, there are 2 queens on the low ground, but Clem quickly gets in and out. And that Reaper's going to try and kill a Zergling, perhaps. No, he's going to run back. There's Hellions coming. Can he make it to the Hellions? I think the Reaper goes down, but the Hellions will be able to kill a few Zerglings. Oh, barely survives. Very nice. So, problem with going to the quick link speed like this and having your third delayed so long is it wasn't a 15-15 for Rogue. Even though it's a very safe opening, it very rarely puts him ahead at this stage. And this is one of the things I've seen where I'm like, it's good to see he's playing a stable opening, but he's definitely got to like hit his economy really well in this next stage. And this is interesting. He's been doing this a lot. A Roach Warren after Ling Speed Mass Queen opening. Now, he's only on 6 queens this game, which is a bit better. Remember, those who saw his games last week, we did see him run into trouble in one of his matches. Oh, he queues up another queen. Because he was going so much Queen Ling to try and hide the fact that he's going Roaches. Problem being that makes your Roach all-in hit so late that it needs to be one big fell swoop, one big surprise Roach maneuver. And yet Rogue didn't show that understanding, right? In one of his matches, we saw him just trickle a few Roaches out, let the Hellions see them, and then his opponent just turtled up at home, and there was no way he could do damage with his Roaches, and he was behind the entire game. Now, against Clem, the thing is he feels like he's very aggressive, but you got to realize it never comes at the cost of his economy. It is non-stop triple worker production. Clem is still a European player. He attacks harder than a European player normally does with the units that he has out, but he doesn't cut worker production to do it almost ever. He is non-stop worker production, all about that economic efficiency. Now the Lair's coming up, going up to 4 gas as well. Usually double Evo goes down about 540 with this build for Rogue, but you can see no real worker advantage for him. And that third base will float down in a second here for Clem. So you really need to make sure you get that economy ready. Banshee comes in on the south side, does get pushed back by the Spore and the Queen. Third command center starts to float out. 4th and 5th barracks are on the way. And the 1-1 upgrade starts there as the Evo chambers for Rogue do go down a little bit earlier than I expected. 8 queens, Roach speed. Lots of drones coming out to finish saturating these 3 bases. Rogue will need to get a 4th though. You can see the Banshee's waiting down there. If it sees a drone coming, he's going to try and snipe it off. Infestation pit starts for Rogue. Oh, I like the quick infestation. Okay, this is cool. I think he might try a Lurker Viper Rush. Would be really cool. I haven't really seen him use Infestors that much. Dark's a master of the Infestor transition. But, not that it's a long-term transition, just to buy time. Oh, the Queen! Ooh, the Transfuse. I like the way he waited till the very last second. Super baited there. The Banshees take a fair bit of damage. 2 Queens in the main. If you have 2 Queens and a Spore, you can usually deflect Banshees very easily, and they've only got 2 drones, so Clem not finding the big value he was looking for. Hive has started just after 6 minutes, and as long as you go Hydra Den straight into Lurker Den, you can start that Lurker range pretty soon. This is a problem, though. Getting the 4th denied so many times. Look at the way Clem's playing. He's like, okay, well, I am denying your 4th for so long. I'm going to go 2nd Factory. I'm going to get Armory to start 2-2. His 4th and 5th reactors, or barracks with reactors, I should say, are finishing. He's just in such a great economic spot. And Rogue finds himself on a few Queens, a few Roaches, and a few Zerglings. He's going to push forward right now with a few Roaches, but that is a poke. If he actually goes across the map, the Marines will stim on him. So definitely Rogue good at surviving in this matchup right now, but will he be able to maintain pace with the modern Terrans? And that's why Clem is such a scary force, because it's the extreme micro, extreme aggression, and extreme macro all wrapped up into one ridiculously fast young Frenchman package. It's the crispy baguette that hits you right in the face. Double drop going down the south right now. So we've got a Lurker Den there as well. Okay, Groove Spine's coming in, so he's going to add Hydra upgrades. I don't know. I'm always iffy in this scenario because, like, you don't have enough gas for everything. So do we skip Vipers and just go Lurkers and Hydras and Roaches? If so, those tanks are going to be a problem because there's 2 of them building. The 2nd factory on a tech lab is huge right now for Clem. And there we go. He's going to cancel the 4th once again. I mean, Clem is all over this game. He's just looking very smooth and confident. Rogue's in no danger of dying at any point. But remember that Clem has become a very good late game player. Now, that being said, we were watching a game on, I think it was Alcyon last week, where Rogue got miles ahead, right? Off of a... miles behind in a similar situation. And then even though the opponent had mass tank Ghost, he literally just made a billion Lurkers and just killed him anyway. So I think he's got faith in Lurkers, and also he uses them in sort of like a positional way, kind of like he's playing a TVT. 4 tanks are out, 2 more building, Marines in the south still being a nuisance, units lost tab. It's not too bad for the Zerg, but he's stuck on 1-1 upgrades. Remember what I said about gas being limited? He can't afford to start 2-2. Whereas Terran's 2-2 is already halfway done. Tanks and Bio moving forward. The Lurkers aren't quite ready. He's even going to stim it on the south side. Oh, Clem getting in on that south side and pushing in the north at the same time. Can Rogue defend both sides? This is a vicious moment in this game. Roach Hydra does get down the south side. South side is defended in the north, though. One of the Lurkers goes down as it tries to get in position. The Roach Hydra is there. Lurker range is not quite done. These are only 8 range Lurkers. They'll get 2 more range when that upgrade finishes. 1 tank on the left side rallies into the Roaches and dies. The Roaches trying to run forward, but as they clump up, the tanks blast them. And that is a devastating engagement. 2-1 efficiency for Clem. If he can deny this base, it's a 3-base Zerg with no outs. Double drop in the south is still there, but the Roaches are coming back. Rogue anticipates this. He's got more than enough Roaches, but again, another drone going to that 4th goes down. That's 13 drones this game. Green Hellbat does venture a little close, but that tank will end this hatchery if he's able to maintain this position. Still no 2-2 or Vipers, whereas 2-2 seconds away from finishing for Clem. Clem's got a 4th command center up. He's gone to 8 barracks with tech labs coming in and a double drop rotating into the main. Roach counterattack tries to come in. They take out a tank, but for 7 or 8 Roaches, is that really worth it? Cost for cost, definitely not. 2 Lurkers. Oh, one of them goes down. Great transfuses from Rogue to keep the other alive, but oh god, the spawning pool's going down. Tech in the main is getting sniped. These tanks making a very good account of themselves, taking out a queen or 2 there. A couple of queens do go down. The Marines in the main pull back. Rogue is outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned. And Clem playing a very kind of chilled out, relaxed style. And Rogue simply not building enough economy to contest him. Where did that queen go? She died kind of funny. However, every time you replay the game, it generates a random ragdoll. Or at least somewhat randomized based on like how it dies. So it'll be different this time as I rewind. See, that one she just like implodes. She just kind of melted. Oh! Oh, one of them did actually go flying there. Let's look at that last one again. Whee! Whee! See Lurker Corpse just going whee! Floating up. We are on the bottom of the ocean. We're gonna see this one die. Whee! Spready to the gods! All right, that was a pretty easy game one for Clem. He just kind of did his standard thing. He saw the roaches, reacted with the tanks. And this is definitely the matchup that I think Rogue's going to take the longest to get back in form for. If he could take even a map here off Clem, I think that would be really massive. Because Rogue is such a strategy guy, and ZVT's always been a mechanical matchup. And remember that even Maru used to kind of outspeed Rogue to a certain extent. So warming back up after the military and going up against Clem and Zerg versus Terran, I mean, we've seen guys like Reynor and Cyril just look so stressed playing Clem because of the pace that he sets. So Rogue played a style where, to be fair, there wasn't that many chances to stretch him out and make him feel like he wasn't able to keep up. On the other hand, Rogue put himself behind by playing that style. And that's something where, you know, I'd like to see him get a faster third. Look at this. So he's not going link speed as quickly this time, but Clem's going to block him. And that's why you need to send a second drone out to the right. I think the right side base is actually better than this base. But here we go. He could run his Lings out as well. One way to punish the Reaper coming over here is to send your Lings across the map. But he didn't go for it. His Lings could have snuck by and gone over here to do some harassment. Oh, that drone goes down. He does send another one out to the right side. At least it's much quicker than last time. 4 more drones have already been building as well. He's got the double inject going. Oh, no. Inject in the main does get missed. Is he going to go creep tumor first? Ah, a laser style. Okay, I love it. I love it. So basically, you want the inject to pop out here, because what are you building? Drones. And it just stops them having to run from the main to the natural. Now, arguably, it slows your creep tumor down, which you don't need to do on this map because you've got this ramp. On most maps, though, you need 2 queens down there to protect the first creep tumor from Clem's Reaper, and therefore, you're not really delaying the creep by doing that. In this case, though, you could argue he could have had his creep down just a little quicker due to the nature of site delta. Second creep tumor goes down nice and early. Look at that beautiful Ling positioning. Nice moves for Rogue. Starport and a second gas have gone down for Clem as well. I like the adjustments here for Rogue. That really conservative opening, he's been doing a lot. He does it. It doesn't work at all. He shifts his opening. Now, the question is from here, what is his follow-up? Is he still going to try and play Roaches? I don't think it makes sense to keep playing this Queen Zergling Roach. This was always a good surprise build back in 2018, 2020. He'd do it against Maru, surprise him with the Roach all in all the time, and get him. But that worked because he only did it 1 in 3 games, at most 1 in 2. And his Ling Bane game was very scary. So Maru was very respectful of that and afraid of that, right? So doing it here where you've been spamming it out is not a good idea. If we see a Roach Horn go down in the next 20 seconds, I will be very upset, Mr. Rogue. You committed to Ling speed at this point. Got to play a Zergling-based style to make this effective. Now, normally a Lair and a Baneling Nest will come up in that main after that Queen pops out, sometime about 440. You can see his drone count's way further ahead than it was last game. This is awesome. Great adjustments for Rogue, good Queen split for him. He's got a good Ring of Overlord vision. He's sending Lings around to scout. His scouting was the main thing I was criticizing last week when we were watching Rogue come back, where I did feel like he just wasn't scouting his opponent's main bases very much at all. In ZVT, though, just seeing the depot timing, you already know this is a 3 command center. Number 1. Number 2, you're playing Clem, one of the most predictable players in this matchup. So the only real variance is he going to build a Banshee or is he going to go straight for 2 barracks? And the Hellion count tells you, probably a Banshee. I guess technically it could be a Liberator. Ling gets in for a full scout. I love it. Dude, Rogue's getting better day to day. But Banshee comes in. Queens are slightly out of position. And he's going to get 3 drones. Not a bad start. Gets in there before Cloak's even done. Already 3 worker kills. Double Evo's up for Rogue. I don't like this Evo placement because it does obstruct your units getting in and out of your base. There is a chance it gets sniped if an army gets down here at some point. That being said, unlikely any of those issues come into play. Whenever I mention these sort of building placement optimizations, it's a 1% optimization, you know. It's like, hey, probably, I mean, or in terms of that specific mechanic, it's a 1 in 20, 1 in 30, something like that. 4th hatchery's on the way as well as a lair. Nice Reaper grenade goes down. Queens are transfusing each other. 4th and 5th barracks is up. Oh! 4 drones and a Zergling go down. The Banshee's pulling north. Lings are in the 3rd base. Hello. Ooh, Lings on the depot SCV. Is he gonna get surround? Nice. Uh-oh, Clem's in trouble. Clem has always been a little vulnerable to Ling run buys. He's left himself out there. The Marines do a good job of getting to the corner, but quite a few Marines dying. That's a great trade for these Zerglings. Really fantastic trade. You're so happy to do that. Rogue's looking good, man. Baneling Nest is on the way. 1-1 upgrades are really fast. He's got a macro hatchery coming in, which is always a good idea. The only thing I'd say is I'd like to see him push his drones even harder now. After trading with those Marines, he's got more than enough Zerglings to defend here with 24 Lings coming out. From here, I want to see nothing but drones. The Hellions diving for Clem. Bit of a crazy move. Surprised he's getting any drone kills, actually. That was a wild move for Clem. Get 7 drones, not too bad. But Rogue is going to say, well, you lost your Marines, you lost your Hellions, your Banshees are deep in the red. From here, it's a clear answer of what you want to do next as Rogue. And that's go 85 workers. He's building more Zerglings. Oh, no. He does not need more workers right now. He needs 80 workers. Unless he thinks he can bust Clem in the next minute, it should be pure worker production for Rogue. Rogue is sitting on only 70 workers. I think he may have lost track of his economy. Oh, yeah, he has. He's lost track of his economy a little bit, guys. Now, there's an argument behind staying on this. I'll make an argument for it. Okay, so to counteract my last statement, if you drone too high and you let Clem have the army advantage, he will just win every fight so one-sidedly that you get wrecked. You kind of need overwhelming numbers to take away his opportunities, take away his ability to just out-micro you so hard. So I think there's an argument. This is a good play for Rogue. I still think 72, 75 workers at least, especially with the room that he had to breathe. Now, he does have units here. Uh-oh, he's got to be careful. Already losing a queen or two, so just 1 queen. The Zerglings are looking for counterattacks, but Clem is super solid against this. Uh-oh. Rogue leaving himself open a little bit to the drop in the main. The Lings could click that command center. That's a good snipe. He's going to grab a tank. Oh, he doesn't click the command center. Oh, he does now, but he won't get it. Oh, he doesn't get the command center. He does get 2 tanks, though. He does get 2 tanks. Unfortunately, though, that's not going to be enough. Only going to get 2 tanks and a mule that was almost out of time. The Marine drop in the main does have to come back up here, but great play by Clem. Clem is getting really far ahead now. And now Rogue's going back to droning, but he hasn't used this abundance of units to trade efficiently. In fact, the trades are still very good for Clem. This is an incredibly mechanical matchup. I think a few people keeping their eyes on Reynor in the regionals, of course. We're going, how is he going to cope if he has to play Clem in a ZVT? Because that seems like a pretty much impossible matchup. If you're playing from Korea with a lot of ping, like how do you do that, right? And now, this right now is obviously a cup which should be played on NA. They both have similar delay, but it's just a mechanical thing of a player who's back from the military, fresh, up against the Terran who is so high-paced. It's so hard to deal with. Lings in the 3rd base, Lingbane rolling in towards the natural. Oh, the Widow Mines are going to boom boom. No, they aren't. Well done there, Banelings, looking for some more kills. At the same time, Rogue is losing his northernmost base, and there's another counterattack there. 17 workers. I mean, this is great damage. Even burrows some, but that hatchery goes down. He's got to defend the south. He does have Lingbane in position. Game's getting a little scrappy right now. Usually that favors the Zerg, but Clem has an ability to handle this pace pretty well. Widow Mines do fire on single Banelings in the north. Queens do go down. Banelings get a connection, but a lot of the Marines pick up. Only 26 Marines have died this game, and that tells us the story of Clem just looking very happy. Now, these Marines do need time to heal, and he's going to be a bit more conservative pickup. He's going to drop into the main. Oh, Clem may be getting a bit too fancy now. Yeah, that's a little dangerous. Oh my gosh, he grabs a Hydra, grabs a Spore, and gets out. Ridiculous. Borrowed Zerglings in the 3rd, and in the natural. No turrets going up. Clem's finally transferring out to his 4th on the south side. Just seconds until that finishes, guys. Marines. Ooh, Lingbane Hydra. Does manage to push those back. I love the Ling on Burrow in the 3rd, but unfortunately those Banshees are still there. These Banshees staying alive on defense duty. We've talked about this many times over the years. It's such a good tool in the long run. Hydras. Oh, not quite able to get on top. There's no muscular augments just yet. These Hydras have grooved spines. They are not smooth spine Hydras, but they are very slow Hydras. No muscular augments means they kind of suck off creep. Ling's going to go for a run by again. The Banshees are still nearby. Widowmine does fire. Gets a bit of friendly fire, though, which is not too bad. Lingbane Hydra can bust this base, but Clem is going to counterattack this game. Stuff's about to hit the fan right now. Lingbane's rolling into that planetary. Planetary will go down, as will all the SCVs at the same time. A quick drone evacuation from Rogue. Oh, God, but he's got to abandon his 3rd and his 4th, which is a disaster for the Zerg. He needs to get on top of the production. If he can get on top of the production, this could be okay, but that is a big if. Clem trying to pick up to the high ground, trying to hold on. Those Banelings need to blow up that depot. They finally get in there on top of it. The Lingbane Hydra rolling on top. The Bio has taken out the 3rd and the 4th. Baneling's going to be able to catch those Marines that are on move command. Nice move by Rogue to get some Ling Bane back here. Hard to micro in 2 spots at once. A Widow Mine does get shot down, but that Widow Mine there actually getting a good shot on the Ling Bane. Oh, the Hydras are on move command. Rogue here struggling with the multitasking, but he's actually done a great job. And he's actually breached the main so well. He's killing everything that pops out. The 3rd base is still mining for Clem. That's Clem's one saving grace, but there's more Ling Bane Hydra coming forwards, and I think Rogue may just have this. There's 25 Marines, a few medevacs, and a Dream. The Hydra's trying to take out the command center. Clem is going to back off. You got to be careful of those Widow Mines. Oh, pulls to the left side. The Overseer does go down. Ling Bane trying to chase the Marines. The Marines with their focus fire. They've got to get rid of these Banelings so he can defend this mineral line. If he loses this mineral line, he loses the game. The last Baneling does connect, but a lot of the Marines still survive. Hydra's in the main getting cleaned up by the Banshees. Oh, those Banshees with the cloak. They killed so many Hydralisks right there. Dude, this game is so close. It's neck and neck right now. Rogue has done a great job of pouncing on that base and not just sitting there defensively taking hits from Clem, but Clem, with this squad of Marine Banshee, is able to clear out his main base and defend. He survives for now, but is it enough? His 3rd base getting ransacked as well. Rogue's all over it. Rogue has a massive work account, but he hasn't rebuilt his bases, so his income's not actually that much better. Obviously, it's better because he's still mining on his natural, but is it much better? Not really. There's still Widow Mines here. Look at the income. He's mining like 1,000 minerals a minute. He's trying to rebuild a 3rd. He's got an Overseer and a lot of Zerglings. Meanwhile, Clem is going to have a +3 advantage. He's going to have 11 medevacs, 14 Marines. I mean, you just need Hydras in base. If you can defend this army, the income's 500 minerals a minute for Clem. He's rebuilding workers slowly, but you just need to make army as Rogue. Try to get a hatchery up if you can, and watch out for that Widow Mine on the left. Ooh, good cleanup. Good cleanup, man. If he can just get rid of all these Widow Mines, that's great. Oh, the bait, the bait, the bait! Clem baits him with one Widow Mine into the other Widow Mine. Legendary play there. Very nicely done, dude. Hydra Ling Bane down here in the south side. They're going to try to gather up. The Marines are coming in. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. Uh-oh. Marines trying to focus down some stuff. The Widow Mine does... Oh, it fires, but it actually hits the medevacs more than anything else. Good split from Rogue. He's still got a Burrowed Zerg in the natural, by the way. Wouldn't mind that unburrowing at some point in this match. A few Lings are going across, but the Widow Mine is going to glimpse those units coming, and I think the Marines, they can move in time. Is there enough of them? Ooh, okay. Yeah, there is just enough Marines to defend. Okay, so Clem's back up to 25. Rogue desperately needs a hatchery, man. He's got to find room to build a hatchery because his worker advantage is just doing nothing for him right now. He's taken a long time to clean up these Widow Mines. Dude, if Rogue gets another hatchery up, he can run away with this game, but he's just taking way too long to do it. He's so busy building Hydra Ling Bane. I guess the argument here is if you just don't stop building units, you can just go kill Clem. But you can't, no, you can't be investing in upgrades right now. That's the, oh no, Rogue! Rogue has to build, if he wants to play a long game and play upgrades, he should be building hatcheries. That has to be the priority. But he's dilly-dallied a long time on that, and he has given Clem a moment to recover his income. So Clem still has 2 orbitals and 31 SCVs. Income is very similar because those mules are dropping. I'm not saying Clem's ahead. He's definitely not, but he's way up on army supply. He's got an extra upgrade, and this is huge. The hatcheries, man, getting those hatchery snipes was massive. Clem gonna be doing some little drippy droppy harassment. He's building libs, mines, and marines right now, nothing else. Sorry guys, a little bit congested right now. Sorry guys, just had to tab for a second there to snooze the ad break that was about to play on the live stream. My bad. That one snuck up on me. Here comes the big push. Marine, Widow Mine, Lib moving in. Oh, it's a good spready. He needs the Hydras up front. The Hydras need to start picking at this. The Hydras don't have muscular organs, but they do have groove spines, so they're pretty good defensively on creep. The Ling Bane Hydra taking a few of these Widow Mines. Watch out for this one! That Widow Mine! Oh, it doesn't fire! The Hydras on the left are going to break the Liberators. This is a beautiful hold. Rogue crushes this push. Oh, actually, the Marines do focus down all the Banelings, though. But the Hydra count is good, and this is why that +1 range upgrade will be very important in the near future. He does need new Overseers, though. He's going to morph one now. I don't think it gets there before these Widow Mines fire again, though, so he's got to be careful. He's in range of those. He's going to get ready for another flank, I believe, on that left side. Looks like the Marines are coming back in one more time. Clem very happy to be getting a recycled usage of these. Very rare you're able to fire like that. And one more Widow Mine in the back. The Overseer goes down. Oh, very well done. The Baneling, though, does clear that Widow Mine up. Extra Overseer is morphing. Rogue trying to defend with Mass Hydra Bane right now. Hydra's very good versus Widow Mines. Clem may need to swap to tank production if he wants to keep this up, or he may have to go around the edges and drop a little more. +3 armor's on the way for Clem. Clem tries to build a command center up north, but it is blocked by a Zergling. 18 Hydras, 14 Banelings for Rogue. If Rogue could get out an Infestor or two, honestly, that would be amazing. But he doesn't have the Infestation Pit. You can imagine in this sort of low economy game, Clem doesn't have many scans. You've already got Burrow. I mean, even Burrowed Banelings actually could be massive because it's so low economy. But this is awesome. The fact that Rogue has managed to fight into this position against a Clem who has been so on point over the last few months is fantastic. Burrowed Zergling on that base as well. Ling Bane Hydra comes in from both sides. Oh, it does get a medevac. I don't think it had anything inside though. It's left a few Hydras here, which is good. Yeah, you need to leave something here. I think he's hoping the libs will come in. He's hoping that the libs siege in. He's hiding back from the edge so that if he commits to the siege, the Hydras will do well. He's trying to go in now. And Rogue's ready for it. He's not watching. Yes, he is. Doesn't even lose a Hydra. Nice. On the left side, a Marine comes in. He wants to scout if that base got taken. Ling Hydra shuts him down. +2 ranges on the way as well. It's still full lair tech for the Zerg. I love that Rogue's still taking new bases, though, because you can see that he doesn't have that many minerals. He's so oversaturated, even on just 56 drones. So as long as he keeps securing new bases, maybe this one next or the top right, then he can definitely outmine Clem. But as we've talked about, he hasn't had a massive income advantage. And with Clem trading more effectively for many parts of this game, it's going to make it hard for Rogue. Rogue is currently behind 4,000 resources in the units lost. Getting on top of the production early and killing so many workers is where he got insane value. That is why he's kept it as close as he has. Oh, Liberator in the bottom. Very nice. Marine coming down south. Overlord getting pushed to the left. Ooh, Liberator in the north. Hello. Clem's just poking and prodding, looking for these openings right now. He's just like, I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to be annoying. Oh, he comes back in the south as well. Gets a Hydra and a drone. Just testing Rogue's multitasking. That's in range. Yeah, this is annoying. Rogue's Queen moves through the zone. Does end up getting to the nice position, but that is a nuisance. And oh, he comes in on the top at the same time. Wow. Just trying to take advantage of the fact that Rogue's kind of distracted right now. First Widowmine smears a few Zergings. Oh god, Rogue, careful bro, careful bro. Oh god, Rogue. His spreadies are okay though. He does end up defusing most of those mines for just a few Zergings and Banes. Could have been worse. But you can see now, 7,000 resources lost advantage. That's huge. So Clem is trading way better in these last few fights. And with no sort of follow-up tech, no infestors or anything coming in, Rogue is just playing a lair tech madness style of game. Ling Hydra comes in on this bottom left, starts to clear up these Widow Mines, which is great. Whenever he's getting the Widow Mines, it's very efficient. But he's got to be wary of overcommitting, which he's clearly overcommitting right now, isn't he? Oh, he's bringing the rest of his army forward as well. Rogue, the Mad Dog. He knows that Clem was way out of position. He wants to punish him for it. Banelings are off creep, though. The Marines gunning down the Banelings. This is a crazy fight for Rogue. Rogue attacking off creep into the entire army. Oh, no. Not like that, my friend. If you're coming from 2 or 3 sides, it's good, but he was attacking around a corner into a massive ball of Marines. Banelings also were not all together. They were kind of spread out behind the Hydras. They were kind of coming in a few at a time, and that is an easy shooting gallery for Clem to dominate Rogue's army. You can tell Rogue felt like, oh gosh, I'm stuck on lair tech. He's got better upgrades. I got to make a play sooner rather than later. But dude, Clem just a bit too good in these fights. Rogue's got some nice maneuvers. Let's be real. Rogue has some lovely maneuvers mixed in. We can see Rogue still has that kind of pedigree of being a fantastic top tier player. He's just a little out of practice compared to the guys like Clem who are so very fast and in charge. But I feel like watching the way he's playing, there are times when players are like back from the military in quotation marks, and you can tell they're not practicing that much. It does feel like Rogue's practicing quite a bit. The opening evolution in this game from what we've seen from him last week as well as the burrowed Zerglings, the splitting up, the decisive attack to blow up this planetary that was on this base earlier, which of course set him up for the jump on the production. I mean, this is huge, and if he didn't lose all of those Hydras to those Banshees, I actually think he might have just won this game, not to mention Muscular Augments was so late this game as well. Bio moving down the south. Lingbane looking good. Hydra Lingbane massing up right now. 2 hatcheries in the main base, looking fantastic. A lot of bio moving south. That hatchery in the south is looking real exposed. Good counterattack, though. Finds the long-distance worker line. Rogue moving forward. He is down 30 army supply, though, and Clem is F2ing. You can see Clem's army is cascading here from every side of the map, so there's some good worker kills, but continuing to attack around this corner again. The Banelings filter around a corner. These are not good fights for Rogue. Even with the Hydras fighting on their own, remember, they are 2-2 Hydras against 3-3 bio, so many medevacs healing. And there is a fight going on up north as well, but it's only a few Zerglings left alive. And that is going to be that. Clem will clean up that force. Rogue's last push. You could tell he felt like it was either, you know, now or never. He kind of had to make it happen. And he is, of course, not able to. So that is going to be that. Bio Mine Lib coming on forward. Lings are moving into the base as well. The SCV is going to be taking some damage. Ooh. Rogue doesn't have the numbers. This was a valiant effort. I've been impressed, guys. I don't know if you have. I've been very impressed, honestly. But I think we are going to be following Clem into the next round and seeing... I think he's got Reynor waiting for him, actually, which is kind of exciting. Oh, Baneling's going to be connecting on the Marines and the Marauders. Yep, Rogue has to tap out. A couple of brilliant maneuvers, and honestly, just a bit slow to retake his bases after the base trade. And that fight here, attacking kind of around this corner with his Lingbane filtering into this area... That was a really bad fight, which unfortunately I would say cost him that game. Whereas if he started setting up some burrowed Banelings around the map and just a split army hits the south, split army hits the north, and if you can take a 5th and a 6th base and keep spreading creepers as Zerg, I think you can bounce back. But it felt like Rogue was kind of in a state of heightened awareness and feeling the pressure a little bit. And no shame there against Clem. I'm sure we're going to see Rogue climbing back up over the next few weeks. He's looking really good. GG, well played, Clem. All right. What the hell is going on? Reynor is playing Protoss versus Terran. What in the shizzle fizz? Clem down here in the bottom left side, defeating his former opponent in that TVZ, and now finds himself on Dynasty. Oh, I guess it's Dynasty. I wonder if Reynor messed up his vetoes and then was like, oh god, I can't play ZVT versus Clem on this map because of the gold base. Clem gets a gold base for free. Quick, play Protoss instead. Protoss can have some benefits. What I've seen the last week has kind of hurt my favor of Protoss on this map because they've all been taking the gold out here in the Asian regionals and then just dying to like Hellions running in the main and killing every probe or something like that. So I don't think that necessarily has to be the case, but it does feel like that's what I've seen happening a lot. Now Clem's going double gas on one base, which means he could do a very quick Hellion drop or a Cyclone opening. And obviously Reynor doesn't need to stick with Protoss here, but cool to see that Reynor's playing Protoss. I imagine if he loses this game, and even if he doesn't, depending on the map, he probably plays Zerg in the next few. But awesome to see Reynor mixing in a little bit of Protoss on a map that he doesn't feel favored on. We're gonna have people tuning in live all day today, so if you guys are watching the live chat, just let them know, you know, !best games is a nice way to link up if you guys get sick of answering people's questions about is this live, which will be basically every 6 seconds for the entire day. Kung Fu Cup's played on Wednesday nights, so, well, Wednesday night my time, super late Wednesday morning, I guess, North American time, and kind of middle of the day Europe that time, but this is, of course, done off replays, as always. And that probe harass is being a big old nuisance, but he doesn't want to save it. Reynor doesn't invest in the recall at all. And that Reaper does come out. Now, it's gold-based, but from the inside. Interesting. Now, this can get denied mining pretty easily by a few Hellions and Cyclones, but the thing is, once Blink kicks in, Blink Stalkers dominate this map, right? You can blink here. You can blink anywhere along this ledge, anywhere up here, or you can even run up this side and blink up there. That's a lot of ground to cover. Like, think about this in terms of a Terran normally tries to cover it with tanks and bunkers. You can have a bunker and a tank here, I guess. But then you got to have like a tank up here and bio up there. You can hold on, but Clem is committing so hard to the early pressure that he may struggle. Now that Stalker's run to the outside first. Oh, very cute. GG Reaper. Oh no, he pulled the probes away, Reynor. He didn't think Clem would jump back up there. So Clem gets himself a probe. He shouldn't get a second. Oh, he's getting a second. I can't believe it. Oh, Reynor does kill it. But already a bigger disruption on his mining than he would have liked. 2 Cyclones are on the way. There's only 2 Stalkers building. You need a 3rd Stalker or a shield battery on this base if you want to defend. I think 3rd Stalker's not building, guys. Uh-oh. These 2 Cyclones are going to be a problem, and a 3rd one on the way. Clem is just going for broke right now on the aggression. This Stalker will need to recall home. Sees that command center. And he's going to be pulling on back now. 3rd Stalker starts. This is a lot of mining time he's going to lose. Oh, God. You can't be there up there with the Stalker, mate. I think he's thinking Italians. Reynor's assuming Italians. Oh, no. Losing a Stalker is deadly. Because that is one of your first 3 Stalkers. And guess what? There's going to be 4 Cyclones now against 2 Stalkers. So there's just no way to fight this. Whereas if you had 3 Stalkers here, you know, those Cyclones might have to run away. This is what I was talking about in terms of this this potential problem. Now, he was planning to build a shield battery behind the mineral line, which would have been a great idea if it was Hellions. Not here. So he's building a 3rd gateway and a robo. The Stalkers are gathering up. And we are seeing the downside of taking that gold base so early. Now, surprisingly, Clem hasn't rallied extra workers onto the gold. I think he just is like, look, if a Stalker comes in and I get denied mining, I don't want to lose so much opportunity cost, so I'm just going to have that one. Stalker's going to be going down. No. Okay. Cool. This is game, guys. GG. Not the most exciting game one. I was like, Reynor playing Protoss. Heck yeah. But you got to remember, Reynor's a bit of a normie when he plays Protoss. This is something where, for a long time in StarCraft's history, when people off-race, they played very gimmicky, kind of cheesy build orders. The Europeans, for the last few years, their off-race is some of the most standard stuff you've ever seen. And they just try to really lean into the defensive advantage of their off-races, because when they play against those off-races, they feel like those defensive advantages are very powerful. But it does mean that if you fall behind in the early game like this, you're really screwed. You are so screwed, right? You're losing all your economy, you're losing Stalkers, Units Lost tab is terrible. And as I said, Blink's going to kick in now, at which point Stalkers dominate, but it's too late. You've already lost too many Stalkers, right? Look at that, he even takes down a few more of those probes. That is disgusting. 8 probes, 7 Stalkers for 4 Cyclones and a Reaper. That is a great start for Clem, who's now going to fly in with a Cloaked Banshee, and there's no Observer out. So that will be the GG button for Reynor. GG. Well played. All right, guys, Reynor in the top right side. Back to Zerg. Goes for the 15 hatchery, 15 pool here on Post Youth, up against Clem in the bottom left. And guys, is Reynor just trying to have fun? He's left all the kind of funky gold-based maps in the pool. This map is, in my opinion, very bad for Zerg versus Terran, because this gold base is so pushable for the Terran, whereas the Zerg struggles to punish that a little more. I mean, you can take it down. It is a somewhat exposed mineral line, especially if you play Roach Ravager, I guess. But I don't know. I always feel like the Terran getting a free in-base expansion with gold minerals on it, a gold 3rd or 4th base they can take, favors them a bit more than Zerg. So we'll see what Reynor's got up his sleeves. That drone should hang out here. Actually, on this map, you can let it return minerals because it's so close. And I think it's slightly more efficient than holding the first drone there. The second drone, it's worth holding there. On most maps, that hatchery is the equivalent of like being over here. And that's that little bit of extra difference means it's more worth holding it. We're talking about a 2 mineral differential here. It's not a big deal. All right, command center's on the way inside the main base as well. Our Reaper's coming out. Looks like we should be seeing just a pretty standard sort of follow-up. Factory will go down momentarily. First Reaper arrives. Now remember, oh, he's building 2 Lings. That's interesting. I wonder what those Lings are for, guys. I guess they're to help try and drive the SCV away. Oh my gosh! Bloody Daredevil Reynor. Guys, keep in mind, he's in Korea. They're playing on NA. It's going to be laggy for both of them, or at least a bit of delay. Waiting until literally one of the Reaper's attacks hit before he does the Spore trick? Reynor is a freak. That is ridiculous. You normally want to give yourself a little bit more room for error. Especially when you're playing with latency, but it's a bit of a daredevil, isn't he? Oh, Reaper grenades being annoying. Clem's going to stack some damage up here. Nice. This is really good. No, he's going to drill the queen. Oh! Taste my drill, says the SCV. Okay, yeah, Clem got way too cocky there. He throws away an SCV and a Reaper. That was unnecessary. Reynor's making fun of him. He's like, dude, you were kind of schooling me. You almost got a free queen kill, and then you just threw away a Reaper and an SCV. We'll blame it on ping, says Clem. Of course, of course. My man. Starfort. Oh, actually, sorry, that's the second barrack, so he's going to do the 2-1-1 opening this time as Clem. And it looks like Reynor with Link Speed on the way is just playing a kind of gasless third hatchery into a delayed Link Speed. Great way to play. And oh, another dead Reaper. Clem blind on this map. And he's going to chuck a ... down. Not too happy with how he's opened up this game. Screwing the pooch. What are we blaming this one on, says Reynor? Oh, the Bant's coming out. Ping as well. Clem's like, I could use it twice. Oh, gosh. You shut up. I could use the same excuse twice. It's like, mate, the moment you decided to jump up that ledge, you were dead. Ping had nothing to do with it. Nothing. Hellions going to damage that third hatchery. Queens are not blocking the ramp right now. Fine with this sort of opening Reynor's doing... Wait, why is he putting 12 Zerglings, guys? Is he planning to do a sneaky run by, perhaps? I don't think that really works on this map, so... I think he's just building it to stop the Hellions running past, but probably a little unnecessary, since number one, it's only 2 Hellions. He hasn't seen any others move out. And number 2, he could be droning this third hatchery instead. He's now transferring workers out there from this oversaturated main, and a very quick double Evo chamber. Reynor wants to get a big head start on these upgrades. Double eBay does start for Clem as well, but normally Terran's ahead on those upgrades. This will be much closer this time around. Any mods in the chat? You have my permission to time out Vortex. There's no way that's an honest question. There's no way. He heard me complaining earlier about people asking this every 6 seconds. I think they're gambling addicts. For those who don't know, if you're watching on YouTube, I cast these games live on stream a lot of the time during my best game stream. And the stream chat is just every 60 seconds, someone goes, is this live? And we go, no, it's called, it says the best games of StarCraft in the stream title. And they go, is this live? And I'm like, how would I know it's the best game if it's live? They go, is this live? And I'm like, I'm convinced it's people who are addicted to gambling on StarCraft matches. And they're like, oh God, can I bet on this? I am convinced that's what it is. I think it's people who are just like, oh, let me gamble. Let me put my money into the slot machine. Let's go. Unfortunately, no, you've missed your opportunity. Check those betting sites. That's probably the best way to actually keep up to date with schedules of upcoming StarCraft matches, right? Go to the betting sites. Anyways, oh, Mule! Fresh Mule gets sniped. Ling does get surrounded on the Hellion. Ling's gonna go into the main as well. You don't actually need to time that. You can untime out that guy. I was kind of kidding, guys. Sorry, now I feel bad. We timed out a guy. It was probably innocent. It was in caps. I don't think it was innocent. He was probably trolling, but we'll untime him out anyway. We don't usually do a lasting timeout. We usually do a timeout into an untimeout. It's more like a slap on the wrist, you know? I'm very anti-censorship in my chat. Not really. I just don't like banning people much. Anyways, Marines are on the front. Massive Ling run by coming in. Oh, he's going to get the Hellion surround. Big Hellion surround does go down. The Marines on the front got deflected by the Queens. This is a big moment for young Reynor. 10 SCVs going down. Oh, gets a few Marines as well. The Queens on the front barely hanging on. And look at that. The Marines, they're kind of out of extra hit points. They have to leave. A couple of them do go down. Beautiful trade for Reynor because he defends his gold and hangs on. Now, remember, I said this gold base sucks because you can't defend it. Reynor has stopped at 52 workers. Notice he's just sitting there massing Ling Bane on a low worker count, and he's using this. This is the classic style that I've talked about this a lot over the years. I started doing this a lot in 2021. Basically saying, I don't have an economy advantage, but I have enough army to defend your pressure at home and do big counterattack damage. And if you overcommit to army as Zerg, you can do this. Some people say it's a bit all in. You kind of have to find damage to make it work. But against a guy like Clem, he's always going to attack into you and be a little exposed at home. So this is actually very reliable, and it's always been one of the best ways to beat Clem. So look at that. You see him moving out with more units. You wait about 10 seconds, and then you go in about 7 minutes 30. You see he's waiting. Reyn is waiting for these units to get far enough across the map, and then as long as he's got enough Ling Bane Queen at home to defend, it's time. Lings go in. He's going to find the tank. There is a Hellbat guarding it, but these Lings are going to do well, man. These Lings get a lovely wraparound. 2 tanks and a Hellbat will fall. I don't think there's enough Marines to beat the rest of them. Ling Bane rolls forward as well. He gets pushed back on the front. Very hard to micro both sides at once. To be fair, the Marines come over and do defend this. That was a pretty good defense there from Clem, but There's more where that came from. The next round of Zerglings comes in. Widowmine does take out the front 4 or 5 Zerglings, but the Marines are getting overrun, as is that 3rd mineral line. He can lose his 5th hatchery as long as Reynor defends the gold base. The gold base giving him a good income advantage. He's going to be knocking Clem back to 3 base right now. The Banelings did cut off those SCVs from retreating. The SCVs are getting slaughtered. On the other side of the map, though, the Marines, if they can take down these Banelings, maybe Clem can do it. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Baneling snipes, but he has to pick up too many Zerglings, and the Marines are way too damaged. On the other side of the map, the Sensor Tower goes down. The Ling run by is fantastic, and Reynor there plays a style that relies on Clem's aggression to punish him. I just want to show you guys that first Ling run by again, because I was talking about dumb things when I probably should have been talking about the game. But look at that. So he's sitting there. So many Zergs want to go to 66, 70 drones before they build army. He's like, dude, I'm stopping at 53. I realize how dangerous this gold base is. So I need to have way more units on the defense. And having that ability to have these queens and a lot of Zerglings, which admittedly were left a little behind for a moment, and he does lose a queen, but so many Lings on the counterattack. I love this style. Half your army counterattacks, half your army defends, and then you know it's Clem. He cannot sit at home. He is literally physically incapable of it. He was born with a rare genetic illness called overly aggressive Terranitis, and he just can't. He can't not attack. So you know he's going to move out eventually, and I love the patience with those Zerglings to wait until he'd sent another army out before he committed. That was beautiful play by Reynor. All right, that's a nice game too for Reynor. Going on to Oceanborn. I was like, wait, didn't they just play on Oceanborn? But that was the previous series I was commentating. Reynor isn't in the top left, and honestly, he's used that trick up. That will not work again, that build that he just did. Number 1, he doesn't have a gold base. Number 2, Clem should be a little bit more prepared for Ling run buys this time around. I would imagine he's going to keep like Hellions or Marines wedged in this little pocket behind the minerals. You know, a few little things like that. Maybe have a Banshee at home, do the Banshee opening, that sort of thing could be good. Now, this is interesting. Reynor knows his 3rd's going to get blocked because he does that every game with the SCV. So Reynor, even before the Reaper arrives, just goes down and says, whatever, I'll take the other base. This map, the big weakness of Zerg is there's no secondary 3rd base. So he's going to do it. Now, this is not a 15-15. This is a Hatchcast pool as well. Keep in mind. Ooh, good micro on the Reaper so far. Yeah, good micro. Here we go. Reaper's picking off the Zerglings. Oh, he gets one. No creep tumor snipe though. That's a pretty early creep tumor. Notice he puts it down before the queen gets down. That's the advantage of building 6lings. You guys remember, I've been watching my channel for a few years. I kept debating with Solar about why you should not build 6lings and just 4 is enough. And one of the big arguments that he came up with and said was, look, it's not just with 6lings, you should never lose a Zergling. Reynor did lose one, but shh, that's okay, slight mistake. He said also, well, you can spread your creep straight away. If you don't have 6lings, you have to wait for the second queen to get down, and if your creep gets slowed down, there's more chances for Terran to snipe your creep tumors, slow your spread down, and remember, creep is exponential. Once you get the creep out here, 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 and here, it's impossible for them to stop, basically. Proxy Starport coming in. Whoa, Cyclone? Whoa, it's Cyclone Hellion Lib? Okay, I knew it was Proxy Lib. I didn't realize it was a Cyclone version. This is cute. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Ling Speed could surround and annihilate the ground units. You got to keep the Hellions healthy. You cannot sacrifice their points. And then the Liberator could do big damage. It all comes down to the Ling surround. Look, there's 2 things. Basically, how quickly does Reynor react when he sees that Liberator with this Overlord? Number 1. Number 2, does he lose his queens before his Ling count is good enough to surround the Cyclones? Because if he surrounds the first Cyclone Hellion, that'll be great. Oh, he's dodging the Overlord. He's dodging the Overlord. Look at that. He skirts the edge. Oh, he may have barely seen a glimpse of it, Reynor. Let's go to Reynor's vision. I don't know. Reynor was looking at the Overlord for a second. I think he may have realized. Okay, well, now he knows. Now he knows about the Cyclones. He's losing an Overlord, though. He's building 3 more already. Okay, those Overlords popping will keep him unsupply blocked. Queens are taking big damage. 17 Lings there. If he gets a wraparound, it could be game ending. Liberator's going to the main at the exact same time. Reynor has a lot of things on his hands right now. He's got to juggle them. He does manage to get rid of a few aliens. The Cyclones are taking damage, but they are surviving. Liberator to the main gets 3 drones before he pulls it away. The Lings go down. That's 17, 18 Zerglings for 1 Cyclone and 2 Hellions. But another Hellion goes down. The Queens use the grass there as a bit of an ambush location, and he needs a Spore Crawler, guys. He's bringing up a second Queen. He's trying to refuse to build a Spore, but he's going to have to. That positioning for Clem is brilliant. He needs a Queen on the left side, but if he knows he sends that Queen around, it'll take too long and the Lib will just reposition. So he's got to wait for the second Queen. Massive mining time denial. Clem should unsiege, just pull back to the corner. Oh, bad resiege. That's not a good resiege at all. Does go down. Oh, Ling wrap around round 2. Cyclone falls, and if he can get the Hellions, that would be a massive cherry on top of the cake that is this early game for Reynor. He's defended pretty well. Not only that, he's doing a Roach Ling. Oh, he's going all in. He's going all in, ladies and gentlemen. And Clem right now does not have any defense. Remember, his starport floated home that whole time, which means no Banshee. No tank right now. He's building 5 barracks, but they're not up on the reactors. He needs to get this barracks on the reactor pumping Marines right now because that Roachling is coming forward. And whenever the Zerg takes the front base, you should always be worried about this because Zerg does not feel comfortable defending this expansion. They want to do something aggressive. Use it as a launching pad to get across this map faster, and that's exactly what he's doing! Oh no! Clem caught with his pants literally around his ankles. Reynor runs in on top of him, takes out 2 or 3 of those Marines. Luckily, the Hellions get back there in time. He only lost 2 Marines. It could have been worse, but they did stim. Bunker coming in. Second bunker as well. The depot wall will go down 100%. He's trying to build Marines with stim. Shields and 1-1 are not going to be here in time. Mass Ravagerling all in for Reynor right now. He's going for broke. It's been an awkward start to the series. He tried to play Protoss on Dynasty and delivered a very quick chicken dinner in game 1 to Clem. But in game 2 and 3, he's playing a cheeky, aggressive style. Tries to dodge the biles. Clem with some great repair micro, but he's losing so many SCVs. That being said, the bunker's doing well. The biles will take it out. Finally, that bunker goes down. Oh, a big bile lands on the Marines on the ramp. Mistake for Clem, not dodging that. He's got to pull back to the high ground right now. Most of the Lings are gone, but the fact that there's still 3 Ravagers up is huge. Once the Ravagers are gone, you can beat this with very few units, but he's not able to. He's got to pull more boys. He's going to have to pull more boys, but he really does not want to. The Marine Hellions doing okay there. If he can get another Ravager, he will. Gets another Ravager. Nice pickoffs here for Clem. Clement looking absolutely randy right now with those Marines and Hellions. They have so much work to do, though. They need to bang 3 or 4 Ravagers and Zerglings per Marine. That is a lot of Zerg coming in. And right now, Clem needs to get a very good trade on the defense. Reynor, honestly, I would say should have droned up by now. But Reynor is like, screw that. I'm going for broke. I'm just going to keep making Ravagerling, and I'm going to keep you punching down into this low economy. SCV will repair the depot on the high ground. There's enough Marines to be a problem. Oh, he's going to try and... the bunker goes down. Nice snipe on the bunker. Is he getting lured into the open, though? Is this a mistake for Reynor? Reynor's trapped. Reynor's trapped. Oh, those Lings go down. Oh, damn. Oh, no. Uh-oh. From the window to the wall, till the Ravagers drip off my balls. Watch those Zerglings crawl. Honestly, Clem might actually get back in this game. He's very damaged, though. He's got to pull back. He needs to let those Marines heal. Tank sieging in a very dangerous position. That's a very dangerous position, but he gets a great first shot off. I'd like to see him unsiege it, move it to the high ground. The Marines are super damaged right now. This is 32 SCVs against 37 drones. Reynor is super all in, but this is still a very fragile position for the Terran. This is looking absolutely disgusting. If Reynor does not break him, Clem might make a sick comeback. That being said, we are going to have 5 Ravagers, 5 Roaches, 52 Zerglings. Finally, the drones in the Evo chambers starts biling the commands, and I love the wall off. Anything to buy time here for Clem. Oh, he stims a few of his Marines, not too many. Gets a few Roaches. He's got to be careful not to get surrounded, though. Good spready on those. Another tank on the high ground would be great. He's going to try and move his tanks to the low ground, I think. But I think, yeah, tank on the high ground is probably the way to do it. Just keep those tanks safe. No more high ground vision. And Reynor, I think, overcommitted to this. I mean, I don't just think it. I know he overcommitted to this. Now, if Clem moves out, you could run in with Zerglings surround the tanks because he has nothing guarding them. He's going to move that tank to the high ground. Oh, he's moving it out. You mad dog. Oh, he's just going to go for a push. Oh, you are crazy. Clem actually has no fear. There's still like a billion Ravager Zergling out here, and he's like, no, we're moving our tanks across the map. I'm like, that seems cocky. Okay. Yeah, get out. Okay. Oh, big Biles land, man. He just lost a few Marines and actually took a lot of damage on those medevacs. But Clem and over-aggression, name a more iconic duo. His work account does suck. 41 against 57, but the thing is the upgrades are so far ahead. Like, the tech sucks for Reynor. I would love to see him just do a double drop around the top, bounce around, because there's not that much anti-air. There is 7 queens, but, you know, I'd like to see him double drop and otherwise just keep the tanks at home. 1 tank got thrown away there. He did take a lot of damage. I'd like to see the medevacs healing up as well. Reynor, on the other hand, what's his path to recovery? Basically, it's just droning. The thing is, he's afraid of droning because he knows there's a much better tech army out. So he's kind of stuck on 3 bases. The 4th is building, but he's got to find a way to get a 4th and a 5th base up. Especially because his main's half mined out. You can see he's kind of drastically oversaturated on these bases, even though he's only on 61 drones. Infestation pits on the way. 4 more drones are building. 2-2 started for Terran. We also see an extra tech lab and reactor, so it does look like a 5-rack style with 2 tech labs. So a little bit of extra Marauder production in this game. Second factory does go down at the front. Zerglings will catch the Marine Scout over there. You know, Reynor overcommitted, I would argue, but he didn't throw his units into the meat grinder. If he threw his units into the tanks and Marines there, that's when we would have seen things be really, really rough. That's when things could have got very awkward. Marines hanging out there as well. The Lings coming in. Run, SCVs! Run! Run! Ah! Ah! Oh, God. Tank fire could be very deadly. Another tank does go down in the front. It's a lot of Zerglings, though. It's not free for Reynor by any means. On the other hand, you have so few tanks, you really want to keep them alive. Hive's coming in. Reynor is up to 70 workers now, so his economy's looking a little more stable. I still think he needs that 5th base. As you can see, remember, his main's mining half mine out. His natural's about to half mine out as well, guys. That mineral patch is literally about to disappear. This one has 200 minerals, 5 minerals there, 160 minerals. So Reynor, if he can get this 5th in the north, that allows him to continue really well. 4th command center is only now started for young Clem. You can see Clem's, even on 52 workers, he's saturated on 3 bases because of that exact thing I just talked about. Marine's starting to clear the creep. Reynor's done a really good job with getting the creep out. That's how you use your map control of early failed aggression as Zerg. As long as you keep the army advantage for a bit, you make up for the fact that maybe you overbuilt army early by covering the map in creep, and that's exactly what Reynor did here. Marine's constantly trying to redrop. Trades a Marine for a few Zerglings and a Baneling. Up 1,000 resources is Clem right now. He's got drilling claws, 4th command center building. He's only on 5 barracks. I'd say that's the one thing he's kind of behind in terms of production for this stage of the game. Reynor doesn't have a macro hatchery, and on a Lingbane style, that is a little dangerous. Ravager Lingbane coming in. Oh, Clem's micro is pretty good. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, Clem's micro is pretty good. He picks up and just sits in Queen Fire for a few seconds. Oh, what the hell, dude? Okay, trying to focus these Banes is unnecessary, but does take out a lot of Lingbane. Only loses a few Marines. Oh, does lose a medevac, but kills a few Zerglings, and overall now up to 2,000 resource lost advantage. You can't be hating on this trading. Those 2 active tumors there are creating a little bit of a protrusion, a little bit of a tumor within the non-creeped Terran territory of the map. Oh, Clem gets ahead of himself, loses 8 Marines. Ultra Cavern and Infestors are on the way, my favorite units. 4th command center's up for Clem, though. Clem's worker count is still very low. He hasn't really resumed a full macro game. It kind of feels like he's still playing a tempo style. He's going to get jumped on. He's got the army supply advantage, but it's not all here right now. Massive flank coming in for Reynor. An opportunistic dive for the young Italian. And the Widowmine shots are going off. They don't get really huge shots, though. The medevacs need to pick up. He's got to boost those medevacs back, save what he can. Trying to siege up the libs, maybe a miscall, because they get biled down instantly. And that is a rout. The entire army does go down. Wait, no, he's coming forward to reinforce. Clem refuses to give up the battlefield. He says, we're coming in to collect our fallen comrades. And with the reinforce, he may actually, if he can trap the Ravagers, it's worth it. If he gets all the Ravagers, it's totally worth it for Clem. That is a big if, though. The Ling reinforce comes in, not to mention Fungal Boy. Fungal Boy, Fungal Boy. He's coming in with the Fungal Boy. Watch out! Watch out! Oh, he does land a juicy Fungal and some Biles, taking down one of the medevacs. A few of the other medevacs barely surviving as well. The Ravagers do manage to get out. A few more tanks go down. Let's check that units lost tab. Only about 1,500 resource lost advantage for Clem. That means those fights were overall favorable for Reynor. And that's super favorable when you're a Zerg on 79 workers against the Terran on 59. Reynor, despite perhaps overcommitting to his aggression, that came off of what was very good, like very good initial damage, remember. He crippled the worker count. He's got burrowed Banelings on that ramp. Oh, those could be game ending. If we see like 40 Marines move over that later, they could get boom-boomed. Widowmine drop in the north gets deflected by the Queens. 83 worker, 5 base setup for the Zerg. 59 worker, 4 base setup with a 5th just now starting for the Terran. It's going up to 7 barracks as well. Ooh, Widowmine does take out a few Zerglings. Oh, focusing down medevacs and spamming transfuse. Nice move there by Reynor on the D. So 7 barracks because he wants more tech labs, guys. But that's still only going to give him 4 tech labs and 3 reactors. Not quite as much production as Terran's used to for this stage of the game. No concussive shells. 3-3's being made, but there was a big delay on that 3-3. So 3-3's lined up with it for Reynor. Going to be basically the same time. Good reactive spready in the north. Nicely done. And the Widow Mine's moving around that left side of the map as well. Burrow Boy, the fungal boy, is still burrowed, waiting for an opportunity to strike. I kind of want him to be almost deeper, like over here or something, but I guess he wants to spot the move out and be ready to fungal it. Ouch. Widowmine's continuing to fire, causing a nuisance. Ultra Ravager Ling in the top side. One Ravager does go down. What? Sometimes the way those ragdolls happen is really funny. Massling run by on the other side. 10 SCVs do go down. The siege tank does defend, but 11 SCVs falling as the bio defends that third base. Ravager Ultra keeps on clearing the north. The Widowmine drop got cleared up for 7 drone kills as well. Reynor rebuilding a few of those workers, but not too many. He's happy to sit on 80 workers, and I think that's the right call, because you got to think about this map and realize Zerg has a very hard time ever defending a 6th base. So you don't need to go 90 drones. It kind of hurts you a little bit if you can't establish the 6th. And Reynor's not even looking for the 6th base. He's just massing ultras right now. He doesn't even have that much Ling Bane. He's just like, yeah, just gonna make ultras, 1 infester. I think the lack of a Spire is my biggest concern. As the lib count grows, Corruptors become incredibly effective, not only for that, but also for shooting down medevacs. Because you can't really kill medevacs otherwise, right? Clem kind of has a get out of jail free card, unless his units are fungled, so they literally can't pick up. And that's big. Having Corruptors to shoot down the medevacs really changes that dynamic, even though they are an expensive unit. Also prepares you for a potential Broodlord swap. Oh, picking off those Widow Mines. Nicely done there by Reynor. Does take a Ghost Snipe. Fungal Boy! Whoa! Big Fungal Boy gets in there, but no second Fungal, which means, as I said, the units do pick up and get out. The question is there enough to defend despite that? And there is. Half of the army was still over there on that left side. Now, it does look like there's no command center over there. It got killed. Snipes going on the Ultras, though. Oh, God. Oh, God. Reynor, not up here. Reynor, no! Reynor! Oh, gosh. Pushing up a ramp with no Banelings into Mass Ghost is never a good idea. And now he's lost 5 Ultralisks, which went from being an amazingly cost-efficient fight for him, really good, to being back to 2,000 resource loss deficit. 2,500. It's not a huge deal. I mean, he's still trading well, but it's like, hey, if you let Clem get this 5th base, things are going to turn sour. And they will turn sour in a way which means his late game will defeat yours. And Festa Fungal Boy finally goes down. It was the only one. The Banelings have finished morphing and Ultra gets sniped. Great move forward by Clem, but Clem's ghost energy is low. Remember, the longer this goes, Clem gets more ghosts, more command centers. He's in a good spot. He's not in the end game yet. And Reynor realizes that. Reynor is the tempo man. He wants to keep going. He has no answer to the Liberators other than a few Ravagers. The Ravagers can bile down one of these libs, and they will do just that. The Banelings are rolling forward, trying to push back those ghosts. The Marauders and the Marines gunning them down. The Ghost's going to land some big snipes, but there isn't enough snipe to deal with all of them. There's just so many Ultras. As I said, he doesn't have the energy to pop the Ultras, and that's actually huge. The command center is going down up north. It gets killed. That's another command center kill, and that one was an orbital. That was the orbital from his main base. Clem, remember, he sat on 59 workers for a long time this game? Well, now we're seeing that cost him, because this is not the normal late game Terran where you have 7 command centers, you're making extra orbitals, you have a billion, you know, you just have the money to do whatever you want. You're building armor and the like. He also still does not have concussive shells, and all of that's adding up to Reynor simply being ahead ever since he swarmed that army in the north of the map. Clem was not all in, but he was heavily committed to finding damage with that army. All he got was an army versus army trade, and an even one at that. And that allowed Reynor to go from being in a questionable economic position to a fantastic one. Reynor, Game 2 and Game 3, has always been predicated, his success has been predicated on him getting good fights. If he doesn't get good fights with the styles he's been playing, he will lose this game. But Reynor's been fighting like a beast. Only down 2,500 resources in the units lost. And I've told you guys, that is huge. That is massive. And that's what you kind of need. Nice. Sets off the Widowmine. Ultra Bane's going to roll in. As long as he keeps Clem off the 5th base, he will not be able to keep up. The Fungal Boy pops up from the ground, drops a Fungal, and Clem immediately taps out. As I said, there's no way, if Clem loses this base, that he can survive. And you see that Fungal? Pops up. Fungals. Nice way to close out the series for Reynor. Really clean Game 3. Fantastically well played. All right. We got ourselves a big grand finals here in the Kung Fu Cup. Reynor in the bottom left. Classic in the bottom left side. I'm so used to Reynor playing Protoss. But Twisted Minds Classic down here. Up against Reynor in the top right for Basilisk, who's gone for a 15 hatchery, 15 pool on the gold base. Now, the idea with this, I guess, is just that you get this mining much quicker. Problem is, 15-15 struggles to get ling speed up. So this tells me that Reynor is trying to defend with like early queens and slow zerglings and basically just get good creep connecting his bases and skimp on the ling speed. And I think he might actually only leave one worker on gas, or maybe even play purely gasless. But wait, what? Reactive Forge goes down. Oh, Classic's going to cannon rush over here. Oh, hello. I have not seen this response before. Stuff's about to hit the fan, guys. I was talking just the other day while casting the regionals about how the one thing I think Protoss players are missing in terms of variety in PvZ is they just don't cannon rush anymore. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see cannon rush every game, but if you never threaten it, Zergs can play greedy. Classic, he's going to have to go for a double pylon wall. Now, he'll cancel those eventually, but it's just to stop the drones getting in so we can get a cannon started. We can only squeeze one cannon in. 3 drones is a pretty big pull, and actually there's already spines here. Great advantage of a 15-15 is you can build spines. He needs to build a second one though, I think. I don't think one spine will cut it. Oh, nice. Cancel into rebuild of the pylon. He does get another cannon. He's got a zealot. Oh, the zealot's gonna help that next one get up. But the creep's already here. He needs another cannon right now. He needs another cannon in range. Can he get it? There's not enough space to get a cannon in range, which means those spines will defend it. And remember, he can't see the spines. He doesn't know about those. So he probably thinks, sweet, I've shut this base down. This is all good. Oh, he tries to do a spore trick to save the drone. A little bit too fancy there for Reynor. It still dies when it pops out of that. Spinecrawler's going to move to the left. There's a battery coming up. Oh, this is going down for shoresies. Adept moves out. Zerglings. Oh, Reynor shows his lings. Classic will just cancel that. Cancel that shade. Yeah, you're on defense duty. This is an amazing start for Classic. Classic's all over it. You know, I remember, I don't know if any of you remember me late last year after Gamers 8, and I cast a few Classic games, was talking about he was the best Protoss in the world for a while there, way ahead of the meta, and I asked Reynor, I asked a bunch of players, why is Classic so good? And a few said, I don't think he's good at all. Reynor was one of the few players that said, I think he just plays proper PvZ. I think he's so good at the late game, and I think he tries to build all of the correct advantages, whereas a lot of Protoss players just mass blink stalkers and headbutt to their death. He said, you know, he feels like Classic really uses Protoss in a very wise way, and I think we can see this here. A lot of Zergs abusing the gold base, and he punishes it. And Reynor is not going to get away with that now. He's making ling speed. He's rebooting another hatchery. But it really feels like this is kind of fallen flat, and Reynor needs to get a third hatch. But how the hell does he do that? He's got to focus on just massing Zerglings to start to deal with the 2 Adepts. But these Adepts, I mean, as long as they don't see a third, there's no reason for them to even commit in. And this is just a fantastic start for the Protoss, who is now in non-stop pro production. He's got a Stargate on the way. And with ling speed not quite finished, Reynor's on the low ground a little bit earlier than he probably should be. He's still got 10 seconds to go. Maybe slightly longer than that. Uh-oh. Adept's trying to corner him. Great move by Classic. Cancels the shade even. Oh, this is huge. Even just getting the Zergling count a little bit lower, because Reynor overbuilt Ling so that the moment Ling speed finished, he could shut these down. But now the Adept shades should cancel. He sees Ling speed and he should just snap recall. Snap recall. Oh, the Spine and the Queen were blocking those Zerglings, but they still get a full wraparound. And it looks like maybe didn't have the recall energy available. And both of those Adepts do go down. Having a nice little outpost here is going to be a nuisance for Reynor, because he can use that to warp in for the rest of this game. Oh, an Overlord goes down as well. This is a disaster of a start for Reynor, who only now starts his third hatchery. It's hard for Classic to get a third up, but Classic's happy to slow down. He's happy to just take his time and work his way forward. He's going to move the Oracle out. He's looking for harassment. I kind of feel like just securing the third is all you need to do, but because Classic doesn't have enough minerals for the third, he's still got plenty of space to probe up this base. Maybe he just waits for this second Oracle and these couple of units to move out before taking that. Reynor, no spice in his play right now. He is looking to simply drag his way back into this game in the macro stage. It's going to be hard. Oracle in the main. Queen's doing what they can. Oracle's going to go left. Ow, ow, ow. Takes a bit of damage, does pull back. Doesn't take any hull damage, though, so that's fine. Just slows him down. And look at this careful move out to the third. I love this. 3 Adepts and a Zealot. Yeah, they're a bit exposed in the opening, but that's fine. He can send them back to the choke point now. I don't like this, man. Protoss players are so lazy with these gateway units. Put them in the choke point, there or there. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I've seen too many players lose to Reynor recently because those units are sitting in the open when there's no oracles around and they get surrounded. If the oracle's there, you can be in the open. The rule is, but if there's no oracle, you have to be more careful. Dude, look at that control from Reynor. Only loses 1 drone. That was slick. damages the oracles. But there's more adepts warping in on the front. +1 attack and Twilight coming in. Classics ahead on income significantly. Reynor's going to try and play the Evo Chamber to get back into this game, but that's going to be really tough. There we go. Adepts shading out to the left side. Things are there. +1 range does start. 2 more gateways building in the main base. That's 4 gates. 3rd Nexus coming in. Oracle's rotating to the left side. He's going to try and maybe find a queen or a few drones that are transferring. Reynor, uh-oh. Does lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's sacrificing an Oracle. Classic does sack 1 for 6 drones, which is not bad. It's just not that great either. Oh, that's a lot of Adepts. Adepts shading into the back of a mineral line. There's a lot of Zerglings there, but these drones need to get on out. They need to... He's actually going to use them to fight. He's like, God, I need to defend, but he tries to drill them aggressively and then tries to get them out of there. 8 drones going down. 2 from the Adepts, 6 from the Oracles, and the mining time alone is so much. Reynor in the chaos now. Starting to make small mistakes, you know, because he's just in such an awkward position. Classic has that forward warp-in point, and he gets even more drones here. The Adepts do cancel the shade, but he's like, well, as long as I'm denying mining, picking off whatever I can. Oh, the Oracles get in there as well! Disgusting amounts of damage. Dude, Classic is all over this opening. And we are seeing that Classic, he's the most flexible Protoss in the world. Always has been. It's been to his detriment when it comes to fan support because he doesn't have a distinctive style. He just does everything really well. But it's his ability to pick the correct strategy for the map and do a good cannon rush. To do a good timing attack and to do a good macro game. You combine all that into one wholesome Classic package, and Reynor finds himself on the ropes already in game 1. He's going to be trying to probably mass Ravages to get back in this, but it's going to be tough. If Reynor brings this back, that'll take some special flair. I feel like Dark still has that comeback flair in ZVP. Dark's probably the only player I feel like who, when he gets this far behind, I go, oh, he could bring it back. Cyril, to a certain extent as well, but I think Reynor used to have more comeback flair. I don't know if he's lost it or it's just that Dark is on another level these days while Reynor's become more of a standard macro player at some stages of the game. But I definitely feel like it's going to be hard to bring this one back. Queen's trying to transfuse. Nice Spinecrawler choice. I love the Spinecrawler choice. Lings are trying to come in from behind. There's cannon battery back there, man. Oh, this is disgusting. Normally you want to flank these armies, but flanking involves running into static defense. This is ridiculous. Look at that. Tries to flank, gets baited by the cannons. This is just overpowered cannon rush for Classic to punish the gold base greed. And Reynor has to tap out. Classic takes map 1 in the finals. All right. Game 2 for Reynor down here. He's getting blocked and has to go for the purple gas, which, to be fair, Zergs have been using a lot. Now, does Classic cannon rush again on this map, or is he like, nah? I'd like to see him fake it, actually. That'd be cool. I would love to see him fake it. See if he can get a big reaction out of Reynor. Reynor is going for a more standard hatch gas pool, so he will have a more fluid transition if he wants to cancel that hatchery. I really feel like this base is so vulnerable. So the big reason I like the base is it's really good if you do a surprise queen walk off it, because it's a forward launch pad. Problem, that's what every Zerg does every single game on this map. And the thing about doing an all-in in StarCraft, guys, is unless it's blatantly overpowered or your opponents are just worse than you, if they expect it coming, they'll beat it. They should beat it pretty easily, right? I say that with a question mark, because I keep seeing Zergs get blocked, take the rich gas, do a queen walk, and actually quite often win the game. But I think it's a matter of time until the Protoss players start shutting this down. We'll see how this one goes. Maybe Reynor just does it and plays a macro game off it. Blinkstalkers can harass this area really well because they can kind of work behind these sight blockers. They can blink up and down the ledge potentially. And the rich gas itself is, of course, very vulnerable. Super vulnerable to tank pushes. Tank Marine down here is basically just indefensible. You just can't stop it. All right, Twilight Council starts up in the main base for Classic. So he's just going to shove Adepts in here and shade past. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's like literally one shade from his base and he's entering your base. This is going to be so hard to stop. I would like to see Classic, I think his best choice, probably like a 34, 36 probe, like a very fast glaive adept. So if we see him cutting probes just a little bit and pulling a worker off each gas, that's when you know he's going to be committing to the really fast one. I think you only pull off gas after you start robo, though. So we'll see if that's the case. Adept comes in. Nice pullback for Reynor, but he loses the drone. Almost gets the Adept kill, but it does get out. Second gate comes in, and a robo. Hasn't pulled off gas yet, but he's cutting probes. He's cutting probes. That's exactly what I was looking for, guys. So Classic's committing really hard. Oh, yeah. He only builds another gateway, so 3 gates before resuming probes, and he's going to build a 4th gateway. And he builds the latest gateway at the wall to not ring any alarm bells. Now, Reynor technically can see if the lights are flashing on the Nexus, but I doubt he was watching at that moment. So you see, there's 2 ways you can see. Number 1, is there wispy stuff on top? Or me, I like to look at the horseshoe, and if those lights are going up, that means it's producing probes. So if he's looking at it now, he's going, oh, you're non-stop producing probes. Now, there's no lights on. Is Reynor looked at it. Reynor's looked at it. He sees no probe production. Where's the Roach Warren, dude? Where's the Roach Warren? It's 3:45. Hello, you took the front base, dude. You can't defend this with just Queen Zergling, can you? And he's not. He's gone for a Spore in the main because he was expecting Oracle. Oh, I don't know if you noticed that those probes weren't building for a second there. To be fair, this isn't the fastest possible version of this. There is still going to be like 38 to 40 probes, but Roach Warren finally has gone down just before 4 minutes. It's going to be 5 queens, 10 Zerglings, only 37 drones. That's not a big economy, but Reynor is respecting it. And that's a good idea. If he could catch the first, like, Adepts or something like that, that'd be good. Problem is that the Prism can obviously pick them up and save them. And Warp Prism Micro. Yep. Already a few Lings going down. I don't know. Reynor could defend this, but look at how quick this gets in here. 1 more Warp in. Glaives is like a few seconds from finishing. It's right now 10 seconds from finishing. A little less than that because it is being chronoed. The Adepts are going to shade forward. That is 10 Adepts at 4 minutes 40. It's only Zerglings right now. He could go into a corner and start trading, but he's going to wait for 1 more warp in. 12 Adepts is going to be a real power point here. It's going to be very difficult for Reynor to defend. Queens are there. Roaches are starting to spill out now, but I say spill out, more like trickle out. Only 5 roaches being built. Reynor's building Overlords. He's making another 3 roaches. As I say that, that's a lot of Adepts. 15 Adepts coming in. There's an Immortal building behind it. No 3rd Nexus just yet. He's gearing up for an Adept Immortal all in. If Reynor can shut this down, he can be good. But look at that. Nice cancel on the Shade. So far, you've lost 1 Adept for 7 Zerglings. Good defense by Reynor. But push does not come to shove. Will he have the numbers when that happens? Queen's under pressure. Nice transfuses. Drones are in trouble. Oh, God. Drones. Already 4 drones go down. Roach is starting to fall. Ooh, nice transfuse on the Roach to keep it alive a little longer, but already 5 workers and a Roach go down. The Spore Crawler dies as well. He's got 2 Adepts in the natural. The Adepts are getting ransacked. That is massive. He turns around and continues to fight. These Adepts are just fighting the Queens. Maybe not the best play. The Adepts are getting stuck behind each other, but at the same time, Adepts are in the main, which means there's no mining. There's 0 mining right now. Reynor needs not just a good fight, he needs a great fight because he is not mining any resources at this moment. The drones are all running around helter-skelter trying to figure out what the heck they can get done in this game. More Adepts are going to warp in that main. Those Adepts do go like that. There's only 1 base mining, and even then, he has to pull away. Reynor's income is in the dumps, and you know what, guys? He's going to deal with an all-in. An all-in behind it. It is an Immortal push. 2 Immortal, Mass Adept. He'll start a 3rd Nexus, but it's a transitionary 3rd. It's not a real 3rd. Reynor needs to do nothing but build Roaches right now. He's seen it, but he's not paying attention. He's seen Immortals. He saw no 3rd Nexus, but he's so busy with the Adepts that he's still droning. He needs to make Roachling right now. And Roach especially, because that number of Adepts is going to make Zerglings nearly worthless. He's still droning. He's still droning. Reynor's just too busy with the Prism. Classic's keeping him occupied, and Reynor does not realize what's happening. We're on Reynor's camera right now. Reynor starts building Roaches, but he's already going above 50 workers against a massive Immortal Adept push. If Reynor can defend this, I'll be very impressed. He has lost so much income in this game. And look at that. He sees the Immortals moving out. Finally, a Stalker and a Sentry warping in to try and deal with the Overlord. The Prism will get out. He is massing Roaches off of 1, 2, 3 gases effectively mining. Problem, the moment he loses the purple gas mining, he can't make Roaches. He's only going to have 1 gas mining once that happens. That's a huge problem. There's going to be a Guardian Shield in the mix as well. It's 2 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, a Stalker, 3 Immortals, 17 Adepts. And this army is frightening against a bunch of unupgraded Roach, Zergling, Ravager. He's got 3 Ravagers in total. He's building a lot of Lings, but Lings aren't going to help too much. Adept's coming in the main again! He thought the Prism was going to rejoin with the army. Classic tricks him, gets huge damage. The Roach Queen at the front does defend for now, but the Observer is still fine. The Adepts in the main are going to shade down there to the natural. The Roach Ravager will finally clean up those Adepts, but that Prism's still hanging out, man. And even that one Adept could kill so many of these Zerglings. Army on the front, venturing in and out. Immortals picking off Roaches and Lings where they can. Reynor with a slight miss rally. He's under pressure right now. Units lost tab is very even between both sides. The third Nexus is up. Classic can transition. He doesn't need to go all in. That's what I was worried about. The rich gas is gone. And with it, Reynor's gas income has come to a halt. He is not even mining the gas in the main. He's just put back on there. He's trying to make melee. But those Adepts, so good at dealing with the Zerglings in this match. Classic's played an excellent game 2 so far. Got way ahead game 1, but this game as well picked his strategy really nicely, and Reynor taking that purple gas base puts him in a position where he needs to defend on a knife's edge, and the block early for Classic has set himself up for success. I do like that there's a Baneling transition now. Banelings will be very good for just clearing out all these gateway units, but watch out for the force fields! Oh no! Massive surprise move for Classic! He does get a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers, does burn a few extra force fields unnecessary. The Prism distracted Reynor there. That was his whole move, was move the Prism in, siege it up, make it look scary, and try to pick off the Roach Ravager. Didn't actually get as much as I thought he would, but still looking for those pickoffs wherever he can. 4 Adepts in the main base still hanging out. He's still warping in Adepts at home. Okay, Classic needs to get more damage done, or he needs to transition. You can't stay on Mass Adept forever. This composition will fall off. I think Classic may be needing to commit harder sooner rather than later. Does save all 4 of those Adepts. He's going to pull back. Sentries, Immortals, and Adepts on that side as well. He's trying to come forwards here. Biles are breaking those force fields. Denies Reynor his 4th base. Lings come in, but another 8 Adepts warping in. I'm telling you, if Reynor gets Baneling speed out and like 15 Banelings, this army looks like hot garbage. I don't know, man. If Classic can get Disruptors out, transition to Blink, transition to a more well-rounded army, it's a different story. But right now he's only on 4 gas, no 4th base. He's only now starting a Forge. Tries to drop a force field there. He picks off a few of these workers. Harassing the purple gas base is pretty damn huge. 1 Queen goes down. Adept Immortal Sentry pushing forwards. The Bile does land in the middle of the Adepts, but that's a lot of Protoss, man. That is a lot of Protoss, and he can just cancel the shade, which I think he'll do. Oh, he actually lets a bunch of Adepts shaded to the back of the main. Crazy move. In the top right, Banelings starting to get in the middle of the sentry. Adept, those Banelings do pretty well. There's still 4 Immortals in the back. This is tough. In the bottom left, it looks like those Adepts all got cleaned up. Not the best shade for Classic. If he can get all of his Ravagers together and get through onto these Immortals, that'll be big. But right now, those Immortals are ruining the Roaches, and the Adepts are ruining the Zerglings, and that's what this army is all about. Classic from Twisted Minds is right now twisting Reynor's important thing, but Reynor has a lot of Roach Ravager coming out. He doesn't have Roach speed yet. The Immortal count's getting low. If he can stop this warp in, he could take him out, but he's used all of his Biles already. No way to venture forward. That Queen goes down as well. Units lost tab is 1,000 resources in favor of Classic. Classic secures a 4th base behind it. Classic just needs to slow down and tack up, but he's still just saying, you know what? I don't need to. As long as I keep trading with Adept Immortal Sentry, that's all I need, and to be fair, it's working pretty nicely because he actually has a 6 worker lead. He's going to take his own rich gas, which is much easier to defend as Protoss than Zerg. And this is a style which only works if he keeps Reynor under his thumb. If he gives Reynor 2 minutes to macro, get, like I said, Baneling speed, mass, lots of Ravages, lots of Baneling speed, high attack, higher economy, Reynor will crush it. But Reynor's just not able to get there, and he's stuck on a lower income the entire game. Down 10 workers, only now starting Baneling speed and +2 melee because he's just had no money. The rich gas gets sniped. Again, this rich gas is such a bait. It really is. It just keeps getting shot down every time he takes it. +1 in charge on the way. We've got extra Immortals building. That 6 Immortals out with the 7th one building. Adept drop going south as we speak. That's 6 Immortals, a bunch of Zealot Sentries and Adepts hanging out. Templar Archives comes in the back for Classic. I don't mind these Adept drops. They can definitely find good damage. But Reynor, he is stuck on 51 drone Mass Ravager, and that's not a fun place to be. Ooh, Force Field almost traps a Ravager, but good escape. Adepts dropping inside the main base. Oh, these are drone losses he just cannot afford. Spore Crawler helps out a lot, though. Hey, good save. Saves all 4 of the Adepts. Hallucinated Phoenix sees that there's no surprises here. Charge, +1. Even more Immortals and a Templar Archives. We're past the adept stage of this game. Problem is the zealots aren't amazing against the banelings. You really want to spread them out. If you can get a few archons in the mix or storm, that would be just absolutely god tier. Reynor with the perfect fight can still win this. He's up in army supply. A lot of that's banelings as well, which are very efficient supply. And the prisms are getting taken out. Oh, it barely escapes. Roach Ravager Bane coming out. Those zealots need to run away, Classic. Run, zealots. Classic's army is very weak right now, guys. Give him a minute, he'll have Storm, but he's not there right now. He needs Storm, he needs these High Templar, and things get much better for him. He's pulling back at the perfect time. Perfect time for Classic to pull back up that ramp. He needs it. He's chrono boosting Storm. It's 20 seconds out. About 12 seconds. 12 seconds at most with chrono boost. Okay, here we go. Mass Ravager Bane on the front. Reynor is all in. Classic's almost max, but it is a lower tier Protoss army. That being said, the numbers are scary. Classic has a huge force. Reynor going around the left side. Catches Classic a little out of position here. Mass Ravager Bane. Storm kicks in. Storm is here. We have 4 Size Storms available, guys. Immortals trying to defend. Oh, the Storms! The Storms are massive. The Zealots charge to take one for the team on the south side. The Ravagers do get pushed back. Up in the north side, we've also got Roach Ravager Baneling getting hit by Storm. And just, they're not connecting. All the Banelings going down off creep. The Immortals are winning the trade in the south. And Classic gets his Size Storm. And Reynor is unable to weather it. Classic is up 2-0 in this grand finals. All right. Classic's up 2-0. If he gets the 3-0, then the Twisted Minds Master may actually just be on a tear in this matchup. Playing against Reynor in the top right side of the map. It's Ghost River, and I think Reynor's going to go back to basics this time around. He's going to be going... Oh, 14 hatchery. Hello. That's such an early hatchery. That is obscene. So he's going hatchery here on 14. He still wants to play hatchery gas pool, which is why he's not playing 15-15. I used to not really be a fan of this build, but I know Reynor said, hey man, you need link speed. I don't really like 15-15 in this matchup, even though he tried it in game 1. That was obviously a special gold-based build he was hoping to get away with. And who knows, maybe it was also a 14 hatchery on that map, actually. I wasn't actually paying attention to his hatchery timing on that one. He does end up doing the extractor trick into over... Oh, wait, this was... No, this was... Oh, this is a 15-15, just with a 14 hatchery. Never mind, guys. Never mind. I thought this was a 14 hatchery after Overlord, but apparently not. I think maybe he started an Overlord but cancelled it, and that's why I was confused. Either that or I'm just blind. Drone is getting annoying here. This probe's doing really well. Classic's being a proper nuisance. Now, Scarlet's in the chat pointing out that if you get blocked, look at the distance to your third. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's really hard to cover. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not to mention, this is a map where you only have 1/3 base you can take as well, so that also can be very annoying. Similar to Oceanborn, where if your third gets blocked, you don't really have anywhere else to go. It's like, can you really take the fourth? Nope, that's way too far away. Probe is denying that mineral patch pretty effectively. Double Queen on the way. Probe's going to attack now that he's finished mining minerals. Nice. Nexus into Cybercore, second pylon on the high ground. Very standard opening. Reynor didn't see where that second pylon is. He's going to send this Overlord back to the safety out front so we can get to this pillar. For those who don't know, Overlords were getting very cold on this map. You can see there's a lot of snow. So they built these little Overlord pervert pillar fires to warm up their butts when they hover over that. So he's going to get back to that to get a bit of a toast going on his buttocks if he does get a bit too cold. What kind of player is Classic, says James the Saint. Hello, James the Saint. Thanks for tuning in today. Classic is the everything Protoss. He does whatever he thinks will win. Recently, he has been a bit more macro-centric. I did not think he was going to get that pylon block down. Wow. Wow. Okay, does cancel that pylon. Very nice. Adept shades forwards. You don't want to let the pylon finish, so he's going to cancel it. Using that to block. Drone's trying to run. I don't think it's worth committing the shade to hunt the drone down, probably. Oh, that does allow the other drone, though. It does kind of bait him. So yes, the drone goes down, but that allows the third hatchery to drop. Now, it's still very delayed. So an awkward opening for Reynor. Classic's harassment, his disruptions have been on point. Oracle's building in the main base. Pylon building on 43 out of 46. Pretty much a perfectly timed pylon. Maybe a few seconds late, one could argue, but look at this. As he's going to hit 46 out of 46, the pylon's going to finish. which is beautiful. Yeah. We should see another pylon and a third Nexus in the near future. Probe's already on the way out. The Adepts are just keeping Reynor pinned. Reynor's built only 6 Zerglings so far. Maybe a little light. Could get punished. Preemptively pulls the drone. Oracle's there. 3 Queens are ready, though. Good pullback on these drones. Oracle doesn't get a single kill. Nice start to the D. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, never mind. Goes into the main, says, hey, you can't have 3 Queens in your natural and defense in your main. 2 drones do go down. Third Nexus is building. Classic with some pretty solid positioning. Lings could wrap around the backside of that mineral line, but it's not bad. Looking to build an extra structure. A Twilight Council into quick 3rd and 4th gas. It's a quick Twilight. So you can see here, Classic wants to get the Twilight before the gases. Could be for fast charge, or it could just be because he wants to get some early blink pressure going. I do think he'll still go Forge behind it, but definitely wanting to apply a bit of pressure. Second Oracle steering around, doesn't really find much. Nothing but needle spines to the face, waiting for it. 2 Queens can out DPS a building Stasis Trap. So really good defense so far by Reynor. Overlord in the top does go down. He's going to go Ling Speed into melee. So a very anti-Blink Stalker build. We're going 5 gates. Hello. 5 gates. Blink or charge, we'll find out momentarily. Whoa, Glaives? Oh, that's a very late Glaives. That's a big surprise Glaives attack, guys. Classic's gonna hit at like 6.5 minutes with Glaives. To be fair, if Reynor doesn't have any Roaches, because this does look like an Oracle into Blink opening, he might just be on pure Zergling. If he has no Roaches, that's really hard to deal with. But if he has Banelings or Roaches, they'll help him massively. Fourth hatchery's up in the bottom. Building a 7th Queen. Spores are up now. These Oracles trying to find more damage. It's ready for it. I like the way he came in from the right as well, but that one got deflected by these Queens in the main base. Because they're not only defending the main, they also kind of defend this area of the natural, which is actually really nice. Oracle's dancing around. Can't find anything, dude. Roachhorn's finally on the way. It's a very late Roachhorn. Went down about 5:30. Oracles do grab a couple of drones. But he's having to work so hard just for like little slim pickings, you know? A drone here, a drone there. In total, 5 drones on an Overlord this game. The advantage for Classic, he hasn't lost any units, but man, that is a massive Adept timing. And it's nothing but Queens and Zerglings. Oh, God. 17 Adepts? Are you serious? He's got almost as many Adepts as there are Zerglings. Oh, this is a disaster for Reynor right now. Reynor is caught with his pants down. Classic, catching him off game after game. He does cancel the shade and says, screw it, just kill everything on this 3rd. I don't need to go any deeper. We found a very exposed hatchery. He's going to go after the 3rd hatchery. Oh, that's a surprise. I thought he chased the drones down, but he's going to continue in. It's a big amount of Zerglings. Doesn't commit to the shade, but he will kill the hatchery. Adept's doing a fantastic job. Forge is coming in behind it. The hatchery does go down, and these Queens are getting a couple of kills. 1 or 2 Adepts goes down. The Queens, nice transfuses, and he finally shades. He does commit to the shade this time. The Adepts on the left do get surrounded, which is really nice for Reynor, but on the right side, those Lings are getting slaughtered. Only 5 workers have gone down, but losing your 3rd base is somewhat big. The Adept shade into the main base. Roachling is on top of it. Reynor is scrambling to survive. Those drones pulling to the gas is a good call. He's got enough Roaches to clean up these Adepts now, though. If he can stabilize here, losing the hatchery is not that important because he's got it. Oh, I was going to say he's got a base fully mining in the bottom, but the Oracle does find it. He's only lost 1 of his 3 Oracles so far this game. Those Adepts come in as well. If he shift clicks on these drones, that could be massive. Gets a few more of them, but the Oracle and those Adepts do have to now back away. 12 workers in total and a hatchery. Not a bad set of pickoffs. The question is, can he defend the counterattack with 1-1 upgrades, double forge, charge, and immortal production? It's definitely tech that will defend him the game if he gets there, but he's only got 1 immortal out right now. If he had 2 immortals and a few batteries, I'd believe, but Roach Speed's about to finish, and Reynor is out for vengeance. 8 Queens moving across the map, 7 of them, sorry. A mass of Roaches and Zerglings, Ravagers are morphing, and he says, no, 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 you just sacrificed way too much just to damage my economy. I have to counterattack. My decision-making is made for me. There is no choice here. It is simply, I have to do counter damage. But the battery's doing well, the Immortal's doing well. There should be another Immortal coming out momentarily. That'll help defend that natural expand. This Immortal in the open, cleaning up the Roach Ravager pretty well. The Sentries and the Zealots doing okay. But now come the Queens. And that's where a little bit more oomph comes in behind this. He's going to need to bring those Immortals out from there. Or actually, he's going to just defend both choke points separately. 1-1 upgrades have not kicked in yet. The double upgrades may have been too greedy in the aftermath of this early pressure. If he loses that Immortal, it's big. Oh, great micro by Classic, just refusing to lose the Immortal. That being said, the Zerglings are tanking very well. So the Immortal's on the left, not doing that much. The Immortal on the top, slowly killing the Queens, not getting that bonus damage versus armor. The Link Trap is good. The Link Trap is good. The Immortal goes down finally. Reynor kills an Immortal. That is the first Immortal he's managed to kill this game. He needs more of that. Zealots warping in to try and help against these Zerglings and Roaches that shove forward. Zealots are cheap. Meanwhile, +1 attacks finished for Protoss. No +1 armor. He's got to keep that alive. The charge kicks in. The Immortal survives. Nice battery overcharge. Zealots get some good surface area. The Queens, though, with the Overlord poo, are able to transfuse each other. Good pullback in the north. Good pullback in the south. He can't lose this Immortal. Reynor, he gets it! Reynor gets another Immortal. That's huge! There's only one Immortal on the field right now. That is the main anti-roach unit that he has. That being said, Reynor does not have a huge reinforce. Luckily, it's a small map, but my god, he's only got a small section of Roaches back. And this Immortal up to 7 kills is doing so much damage. The Ravager goes down. The Roach is starting to fall as well. Reynor is running out of supply and units. And that is a huge problem because he's down 16 workers, which is massive. The Stalkers will start to clean up these Overlords as well. And that is a huge cost. 2-2 starts for Classic. Classic pretty much has this series in the bag now because as long as you've survived, which he has, what can you do as Reynor? Reynor knows that he's so dead that what he's going to do is not even drone. He's basically going to build Mass Roachling and go all in. And his reasoning here, as he only now rebuilds his third base and his macro hatchery, his reasoning is that Classic is so far ahead, the only thing that's going to work is a big surprise. But then he changes his mind, starts droning. Oh my god. He's droning from so far behind. He's going to go for Baneling drops, so he's going to try and Baneling drop the worker line. Reynor is so screwed in this game, guys. He has army supply advantage for now, so he's safe, but I feel like he needed to make this drone decision like a minute ago. He's making it so late in this game, and Classic already has a 4th base Storm 2-2. Classic is all over this series right now, man. He's just looking so powerful, ready for everything Reynor sends his way. And to be fair, Reynor just wasn't able to deal with it, right? Game 1, Cannon Rush gets the gold base. Very clever reactive Cannon Rush. Game 2, what did we see in Game 2? That was the, you take the gold base, the purple gas, because I blocked your natural, and then I punish that with the fast adept timing. This time around, it's been, you know, fast or slow, a delayed mass adept timing off of what looks like an Oracle Blink build. Classic, dude. It's just catching Reynor off with his openings, and once he gets the momentum, he's really not giving him any room to breathe. Zealot drop comes in, sees the whole army, and says, that's fine, I'll just drive past into that main. Get in the back. Just be in a position to annoy you. Zealots in the south coming in. Zerglings seem to be aware. Zealots with +1, 1-1 upgrades do pretty well versus these Zerglings. Zealots in the main are going to try and pick off the Queen before picking up and getting out of there. Good transfuses, though. Does have to back away. Nice hold. Right now, Classic's actually traded 1,000 resources less efficient. Oh, God! Classic, what are we doing, mate? Oh, I don't know why that prism flew down there. I thought he could have just hit in the dead space, but bit of a mistake for him. Oh, the Ling drop distracted him. Nice move for Reynor. He somehow gets 6 probes and distracts him, which means he loses his Prism and 4 Zealots. That's actually a huge pick-off. Look at that units lost tab. Now almost 2,000 resources in favor of Reynor. Problem, he's going up against a guy who's got a 2-2 upgrade ground army. Now, Classic is going carriers from here. Okay, so this is a really unnecessary thing that the Classic is doing. Classic's saying, cool, let's go air. But the thing is, you're going 3-3 ground upgrades, so why bother going air here, would be my question. I think he can go win with a Mortal Sentry Archon Zealot right now. I don't think there's any way Reynor can defend a 2-2 Immortal Storm push. I don't know if you guys disagree with me or not. I'd love to hear all your thoughts in the comments. I feel like when you've invested in the double upgrades, you need to get advantage off those upgrades, whereas Classic's just turtling right now. He's making Mass Cannon Battery, and it feels like air's good. It's always very nice to go for, and I don't mind, but especially with it being scouted, I'm like, dude, go attack right now. What can Reynor do against this? He's got Ravager Bane, but at least clear the creep. Classic being very defensively minded so far. No ship weapons as well, which is bizarre. Because those ship weapon upgrades are very important for carriers, but that Cybercore is idling as we speak. I would guess Classic clicked the upgrade, but didn't have the money, so he probably thinks it's upgrading, but has forgotten about it, and might not realize till later. There we go. Does realize, starts the +1 air weapons. Mothership is on the way as well. Now, Reynor's going to try to play Broodlords, so having the air swap is very good for countering that. You can go Tempest against Broods. Carriers in general forces a lot of anti-air. Reynor's only got single Evo. He's adding the ranged upgrades. The Zealots only have 2-2 so far. They do get surrounded, so they get cleaned up. Oh, Phoenix catching the Baneling drop is huge. But if he doesn't micro the Phoenix, it could get away. He's going to just have to unload those Banelings. 4 Banelings do unload. 5th base on the way for Classic. More cannons, more batteries. I think Classic just feels so favored in the end game that he's happy to go there. And that's fair enough, because Reynor's more of a mid-game guy. I've always said Reynor's very good at making Ravager comebacks. And if you just survive long enough, he will eventually play Infestor, Broodlord, Viper, you know, Lurker, all that sort of stuff. But he always does it as his second or third choice, never as his first choice. Even now, building Broodlords, it feels like it's more like a few Broodlords plus Ravagerling Bane. It's more of a timing attack. So I think getting out 4 carriers is not a bad move. It creates a sort of hybrid army that's difficult for Zerg to deal with. Reynor breaking the rocks in the bottom. Phoenix does spot it. Meanwhile, another Baneling drop in the north. Prism drop comes in, but Queens and Corruptors shoot it down instantly. Nice move. Transfuse will shut that down too. Cannon cannot defend this on its own. Baneling drop does come in. Army pushes back Reynor's army in the south. Baneling drop will go down. Oh! Almost gets the probes, damn. Good pullback though. Mama and carriers are out. Broodlords are morphing right now for Reynor, but Reynor kind of needs to trade his Lingbane Roach out. Like, especially the Roach count. He's got to lower that Roach count. Nothing in position on this base. The ground army's out of position. Oh my god, big lag, guys. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. I think that's my computer. I don't know what went on there. Just a bit of a lag spike. Apologies for that. Banelings do blow in on those probes. 17 workers, not bad for Reynor. This base should be safe. It's got plenty of cannons at it, though. Classic could replace that with army. Yeah. This is a smart move. You know when you kill 17 probes and it feels really good at 5 minutes? If you kill that at 15 minutes, often Protoss will go, sweet, more army supply. He's just making more Archons. He's just going to go. He's going to go with a big Archon Storm Immortal push. He's got 6 High Templar for warping in those storms. He's got a Mothership, 5 carriers, only +1 air weapons, but there's no armor upgrades at all for Zerg, so that's still going to be good enough. Lings try to run in with Banelings. If they can take out the Artosis pylon, they could definitely take this base out. Battery overcharge goes down. Banelings going for the Artosis. The Artosis does get taken out. Probe rally gets blown up as well. That's not enough units to defend this base. Classic getting distracted for a moment there, which means he will lose most of these probes. 7 probes go down in the south. Roach is getting cleaned up. What's he building, guys? He's building Corruptors right now. 9 Broodlords trying to get Corruptors to deal with the carriers. He doesn't have any. That Infestor's out in the open. That Infestor could go down. There's no blink. There is no blink to deal with the Broodlords. That is one problem for Classic's army. He also doesn't seem to have an Observer with this force. He's not clearing up the creep as we go. He's left that Observer at home, which is a bit of a bizarre choice. Nice! Fungal comes in. Time Warp goes down, though. The Broodlords need to get out of there. The Broodlords trying to escape the Time Warp. They are sieging these Archons from afar. The Spore Crawler is helping out a lot. Oh, nice Spore Crawler usage. One of the carriers just went down to the Spores. The Interceptor count is getting lowered, but is there enough Broodlords to deal with the ground army? Roaches will take out the 3rd base of Classic. Here we go, Storms on those Broodlords. There's still a ton of Immortal Archon on the ground, but there's not much to deal with those Broodlords. He needs the carriers to kill the Broodlords. Corruptors will take out one of the carriers. The Broodlords still managing to get in chip damage, but they are getting overwhelmed. Only 4 Broodlords left. He's going in a remax of Roaches against a guy who has 5 Immortals on top of his production. That is not good. Roaches in the south side going to run in and try to take out these cannons. They should be able to overwhelm that. I wouldn't mind Classic recalling, and indeed he will do just that. Nice recall onto that base. The Roaches will pull back, and perhaps they could intercept these units, actually. Ooh, juicy catch for Reynor. He's going to catch some of these units on the way home. Corruptor also gets a carrier. He manages to catch, oh my god, a Zealot, a Stalker, and 2 Immortals? Big, juicy discount bargain bin deal there. And he's no probes on the 4th for Classic. Classic's trying to warp in a few Zealots, but Classic kind of just got out-positioned in this late game. He had what I would argue is a better army in the long term, way better upgrades with 3-3 against just 2-1. But despite that, Reynor finds a way, comes in the base piece on the Stargate, does end up losing a few Corruptors without killing that Stargate. But the Roach Ravager Broodlord in the south will take out the 5th base of Classic. And that could spell disaster for the Protoss. He was miles ahead in this game. The air transition didn't really do anything for him. Classic just did not show enough urgency off of his opening. So my instinct here says that Classic doesn't realize how far ahead he was off the adept damage. And then the hold, after holding the counterattack, I thought he would realize that he was way ahead. But he played so cautious and he made all these ground upgrades and didn't really get any value out of them. So I do have to criticize Classic for lacking a little bit of decisiveness, but we've also got to pay props to Reynor. The Lingbane finding the 3rd, the Roach counterattack finding the 3rd after all those workers had been killed, and defending with just a mass of spores, a handful of Broodlords and Queens. That was impressive and something very few players would have been able to pull off. We always say that when a comeback happens, a lot of people go, oh, he threw the game, what a throw, what a throw. You got to give respect to both sides. Number one, respect or disrespect, if you want to call it, to the player who gave up the advantage, but it also takes the other player playing exceptionally well to capitalize on that. A comeback never happens just from one side. It's always a mixture of one player playing maybe a few more mistakes than normal and the other player playing exceptionally well to capitalize on it, which is what Reynor's done. Losing the 2 prisms was huge as well. Remember, the prism that went down this side got caught, and the other prism on the natural. Classic now finds himself in a bad position. The Fungal's coming in. Not really doing that much damage, but they did hold him in position for a while. These Spore Crawlers. I feel like this is the worst point to attack. It's his strongest point. Ling's wrecking Classic's income behind this. Classic feels like he's super all in right now. He's got a lot of Stalkers, but he doesn't even have Psystorm. The spores are slowly getting cleared up, but pushing through the static defense of your opponent has to be the hardest area to fight. Oh, big storm on the Roaches. The Storms are still keeping those Corruptors at bay as well. The Immortals are starting to fall, though. One of the Immortals does get nibbled down. The High Templar, big storms on the Corruptor Broodlord. The Broodlords are getting taken out. The Broodlords are dying a storm right now. That last storm not quite landing. Archons are morphing. The carrier's going down. And Reynor will make a glorious comeback from the brink of defeat. From the brink of victory to the sadness of defeat in that last game. Classic, still up 2-1. Still has 2 more chances to close out this series, but a little bit more pressure on his shoulders after giving up the advantage in that last game. I was so impressed with his hold of the Roach Queen Zergling counterattack, by the way. That was really very impressive. That was well done. The microing on both sides, the mixture of Zealots, batteries, force fields, and Immortal micro. Basilisk's Reynor just couldn't quite get through. Despite that, Reynor splits his army up like a beast and definitely still has that comeback flair, especially in this matchup. One of the best ZVP players from behind. We've seen him on this map specifically, Reynor, make many comebacks versus Showtime with Neural Parasite. I haven't really seen him pull off the Neural Parasite versus Classic in the late game. I'm thinking about how this map plays out and if we'll see any stylistic difference. At Katowice, we saw a lot of Ultralisk play. I feel like we've lost that. We haven't really seen the Ultra play. It's like, I mean, we've also seen Immortal play come back in such a big way, and maybe that's part of what's happened is Protoss adjusted with mass Immortals. Oh my god, Reynor's getting wrecked on the micro, guys. The worker micro, his drones are kind of getting bounced around a lot. I think it's worth attacking. When a player is as good with that worker harass as Classic is, I do think it's worth harassing it. Reynor was telling me you shouldn't do this in coaching, and yet now he does what I do every game and just chases the probe, which is kind of fascinating to see. I'm not sure if he's catching bad habits from washed up idiots. He's just being lazy, or is he decided, you know what, it's actually worth doing this? I really do not know. We've got people quoting Scarlet in the chat saying, the best unit against Protoss is Muta because Immortals don't shoot up. That's my reasoning. Is that actually a copy pasta? I saw her say that in chat the other week. I didn't realize that. Is that copy pasta? I didn't realize she was just copy pastaing, if so. Because I'm like, I love Mutalists. I think Mutas are amazing. I just think they're like a sneaky tech switch unit in this matchup that you bring out once in a while, and it just keeps the Protoss on their toes. if you do mutas every game, it's kind of trash. But if you always, there's always the threat of mutalisks. It's part of the mind games in the Zerg versus Protoss arsenal, and we have seen Reynor mix it in occasionally. Unfortunately for him this game, he's playing against glaive adepts, and that is a scary style, as we saw before. Adept shades in. Third hatchery is, of course, on the way for Reynor. Adept does cancel its shade. Now, the Overlord seeing the Stalker and everything, pretty sure Reynor knows what's happening. What I wouldn't mind from Reynor is, you guys know the 3-minute 30, the 3 Ravager mass Ling response to Twilight? Where basically at 3 minutes 30, you take a second Stargate, you put back on gas, you build a Roach Warrant, and you use that early gas to get 3 Roaches super fast. And then you basically morph them into Ravagers, and you use Links around on the first Adepts plus Ravager bios to crush. I haven't really seen Reynor do that, but I know Dark, Solar, they always mix that in. And it can just crush the first wave of Adepts if you catch them. It's a bit of a gamble because you aren't as safe against DTs, and, you know, it is a bit more expensive of a reaction, but Reynor's doing the more standard. It's like a Queen Zergling Roach hybrid. With a slightly faster Roach Warren, a lot of players build this Roach Warren just after 4 minutes. I like that he's building it a little earlier. And he is getting a second gas as well, so he's adding a bit more flexibility to his response, which against the 4-gate glaives you're going to need. That's going to be a crazy amount of Adepts, and having the second gas mining allows you to do very well. I thought mutas were only trash into Stargate. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if they have Stargate, a lot of people will tell you can't go mutalisks. They're completely wrong. This is a very, like, if the Protoss plays perfectly and scouts everything, technically mutalisks is often not good. But Europeans are very inflexible in their style. They have better macro, more refinement than other players, but they also see the game as constantly being limited. And I will die on this grave. They're not very innovative at the moment. The ZVP, especially in Europe, has been a little bit stale, and I think the Rogue is going to lead us forward. Rogue and Serral will show us the way to play this matchup, and Classic in the other side of the equation. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Stalker's going to go down. This is a big Adept timing. Lots of Roaches are coming out, but they're not ready just yet. Those Queens, oh god, they need to get out of there. Pull back the Queens. I don't think you got the numbers to fight just yet, Reynor. Oh god. Oh, I mean, the Roaches are popping on top. He's killing a few of these Adepts. Only lost 1 Queen. Those Lings came in at just the right time. Does he have enough, though? Oh, not there, not there. Those drones instantly run. 3 drones go down, make it 4. Fantastic damage. No third base behind this. He is shading more Adepts forwards, which means those Lings do need to go in again. The Prism in the main base. Oh, this is so nasty. Once again, where are you going to mine from, dude? Your third's ransacked, your main's ransacked. Where the hell do you mine from? This is so scary. A lot of Zerg stuff is dying. The Adepts are all over the place. Oh, he gets in and kills the Stalker. But a great reaction by Classic, who warps in some extra Adepts at home. Reynor does pull back. Forcing warp-ins at home is huge, but it's just not enough. He doesn't have enough Roaches to shut this down, and Classic committing very hard to the Glaive Adept. He's up to 3 gas, 43 probes, and building Immortals behind it, but it is something that Reynor is struggling with. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people say Twilight seems bad, it seems trash. And it really does if you do it all the time and that the Zergs are really used to it and they expect it. But if you have variations you do that are all a little bit different, they hit at different timings, and you're good at executing them all, it can just roll over a Zerg early. Now, to be fair, Reynor is somehow not dying. I thought he was taking too much damage, but he's stabilizing. 2 Queens in the main base do defend. The third base was denied for such a long time that he can absolutely recover. If it wasn't for that denial on the third, I'd say his position's terrible. With the third just starting, he's on 48 drones. He just has to stabilize. Prism's taking a lot of damage. That's going to limit the ability of that Prism to get in the future. No probes. No probes, guys. Oh, God. No probes! He's not building probes! Immortal Sentry Adept attack, just like in that earlier game on Crimson Court. Now, on this map, there won't be such a nice angle to abuse the purple gas. The Immortal Sentry Adept is coming. The 4-gate Immortal Adept is actually such a good push. We always see this rotate into the meta. It's such a good style because you keep up this pressure, and then Adepts fall off really hard if you don't use them in the mid game, like at the start of the mid game. They're an early mid game unit, but if you add Immortals to counter the Roaches that otherwise deal with them, they deal with the Zerglings that deal with the Immortals really well, and it's just a nice synergy. It still is something you need to hit with urgency, though. Reynor droned up to 54. Uh-oh. Oh, Reynor went to 54 drones. I mean, he's got a good advantage, so at least he knows if he defends this economy, he's way ahead. But right now, that is a scary force. 3 Immortals, 4 Sentries. The Zerglings will go in, kill a probe, force warp-ins at home. That's great. Every warp-in you force on the Protoss side of the map is a big advantage for Reynor. Means the army is weaker by those units that aren't there. 4th Immortal is going to try to rally out through the middle of the map. He's going to send a few more Zerglings out. He's trying to intercept that. Roaches and Ravagers are here. Adepts are splitting. Oh, careful. That's a lot of Adepts, but they do cancel. Can he get this Immortal? If he gets this Immortal, that'll be massive. Reynor knows that Immortal will be rallying through the middle of the map, but he finds the Adepts, but not the Immortal. Nice force fields. A lot of these Roaches getting trapped. Oh, God. Roach speed will finish, but he's going to lose the Roach Horn, it looks like. Great force fields. My God, so many force fields. Lings do coming from that left side. That Immortal is going to get caught on the far left of this army, and it will go down to the Zerglings. Nice Ling move for Reynor. Reynor trying to defend that ramp. Roach Ravager, Zergling Queen on both sides. He's massing more and more of these units out. But look at the way Classic holds the high ground. He says, come down here, and I will force field and rip your army to shreds. Very hard to micro in 2 places at once. Transfuses try to go down, but the Roach Horn does fall. No Roach Horn has been rebuilt just yet. Reynor is putting everything into defense. More Lings, more Queens, no Roach Horn building, and he is just trying to defend. But Classic is saying, come and fight down the ramp, bro. Roach Horn does start getting rebuilt in the back of the main. Reynor, up 10 workers, but his army is nothing to match this. Those 3 Immortals are the problem, but how do you ever get on top of those? He needs a lot of Roaches and Ravagers. He doesn't quite have the numbers. The Adept Sentry pushing in. The force fields to cover him in the rear. Oh, God, in the rear with the gear. Those Roaches on the right side do not have any Ravagers left, which means no way to break the force fields. He has to wait the 11 seconds for that force field to run out. Roach Ravager in the bottom left skirmishing, trying to clear through the Adept Sentry, but that Immortal is adding so much damage. The Immortals in the top right doing so much as well. The Sentry warp-ins are massive. Classic digs into his experience from the earlier years of StarCraft 2. Let's rewind and just watch that one more time. Sets up with the beautiful position and just really nice usage of Sentries, Force Fields, Immortals, and using the Zerg ramps against them. Twisting Reynor apart in this series. I mean, punishing gold bases, punishing purple gas bases, and hitting a series of beautiful Twilight Council timings. Just absolutely crisp play by Classic, and something where you know Reynor is going to be very ready for Glaive Adepts the next time he plays in a tournament, because he will not be happy about this. It does not feel good to get wrecked by Adepts this many games in a finals. Hats off to Classic, though, playing like a beast, showing some really good variety. GG, well played.